Welcome to the Ranger Wrap-Up. We are live here on Saturday afternoon in beautiful Los Angeles. We have a lot of Ranger news. I am Joe with the Illuminerdi, alongside my compadres. It's been a long time since the three of us have been united. Jezer, Zeus, Reyes.
Sup, bitches?
Wow.
And
Okay.
Battlestar Galactica.
Galactica.
I
Yeah.
said
Get
it right the first
We
time.
also have Mark, but I'm trying to figure out how to get him in.
Heirloom's here somewhere, connected digitally, but thank you guys so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I think we sounds great in a work-in-progress studio where there's a lot of Power Ranger news to dive into. And Ranger Nation is live with us.
Trying to get the chat. Hold on.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I would do Jezer's whole spiel, but I don't.
I mean, I could do it while
your
I'm
whole
doing
spiel.
this, right? It's Saturday. What is up, everybody? This is a very special Saturday, but you could be anywhere else in the world today, but you are here with us, and
We appreciate it.
yeah, I haven't done that with Daniel in a while. I'm trying to bring in Mark. It seems like there's a connection issue from the UK right now. It's on our side, actually.
I want to know how you guys are doing, where you guys streaming us from. And we are going to be talking about everything that happened at Hasbro PulseCon. You could tell, by the way, real quick, just pulling the curtain back. And I think this is one thing we're going to do. Is we're going to do a deep dive into this whole little scenario we call Hasbro PulseCon. You know, I realized something, though. I now know why Hasbro didn't want to be at Morphicon. It's because they wanted to reveal everything at Hasbro PulseCon.
Yeah. Like that's something you notice and you see how it's acting out right now. Everything's coming through.
Yeah, I don't think that was any kind of secret, though. It was pulling teeth working with them for that, just to let you guys know. In the chat, though, I saw a handful of familiar names. I saw Bryn Darby there for a second. I also saw the Heirlooms, obviously, in there. Matthew Thompson, good buddy Matthew Thompson. We missed you this year at Power Morphicon. Edward Sanchez Productions, Brandon Bell, Marcelino Vasquez. Thank you, guys. Jalen Glover, thank you guys all so much for joining us. Dude, Daniel, how have you been? First of all, before you get into that,
Okay.
you people that were at Power Morphicon saw you there live and in person, but you haven't been on a Ranger show in a long time. And I know that there's been a ton of Ranger news to come out since the last time you were on the show.
Boy.
But, you know, there's a handful of things we can talk about. And the first thing I want to dive into is Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2. The reason I want to talk about that is because had you watched Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 1?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on Season 2?
Season 2, so much better than Season 1. It really looks like they got into their stride. They figured out exactly what they wanted to do. I enjoy everything that was set up as far as expositionally for Season 1, but the payoffs all throughout Season 2, so good. And it's just like, it was really quick. It was really fast. The last 4 episodes are definitely something you have to watch in succession. I wouldn't suggest doing like, oh, I'm going to watch this one today, and then the next one next week, and then the next one next week. No, you have to watch all 4 of those within that week, because when you get to the end, the big boss fight, like it's like, everything is being called back.
Right.
And it's just like, damn, this is
Well, look,
good.
this is the one thing I miss about doing this show with you guys, is that it's not just us talking about Power Rangers, interacting with you guys. So if any of you guys are from Florida, by the way, we hope you were safe from the hurricane. I know that we have somebody in here currently that was just saying that they're from Florida. I was just reading. Oh, here we go. Jalen Glover. He's in Clement, Florida. So we're hoping you're staying safe, Jalen. And also, we got a great comment on these shirts. Whoa.
I love that.
We got a great comment on these shirts. They're digging the Bullet Club style shirts, which we were rocking at Power Morphicon. We also got some great shirts for sale somewhere.
Yeah.
I wanted to promote that, but I don't know where you can buy those shirts quite yet, but I know that they're on sale somewhere. I'll have that information as soon as we get it for you. Back to Dino Fury.
Yes.
Jezer.
Keep going ahead.
All right, I'm going to keep talking to Daniel.
Keep going to me while I'm doing it. Go ahead.
All right, Jezer, so Dino Fury Season 2, you saw it already, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Thoughts?
I did.
Questions, comments, concerns?
Part 2, I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed it.
I can tell by your interaction.
I did.
I get
Yeah,
it.
I did. I really enjoyed it. It's
sounds
just
like you did.
there's a lot of stuff that happened and a lot of callbacks to like earlier things that they did in the season. That some of it so a lot of people thought there's some fluff, like some filler episodes, but not really. I mean, they'll add like 1 or 2 lines calling back to other things that had happened, or even in things that happened in the previous shows, and that made it so it wasn't like a filler episode, because there's filler episodes and there's like episodes that really just like bring a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, because you have 20 minutes. So let's say you dedicate 2 or 3 minutes to one thing, that's almost like 10% of the show, and it's not filler. But let me go back to you guys because I'm trying to figure out how to get freaking.
Well, let me go back to the chat then, because we do have a lot of you guys in here. Dashing Quinn, there's a ton of you. I am Negro.
I love his name every time.
I do
every
too.
time.
So Brandon is also talking about his daughter was born 2 years ago. Happy birthday to Cindy, his daughter. This is one thing I love about this community, very specifically, our community, very specifically, because all of you guys are positive Ranger fans in a positive place. I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of toxicity out there, and this goes for all fan bases. We were talking about this prior to us coming on the show today, is that most fan bases, whether it be Star Wars, Power Rangers, Marvel, DC, Star Trek, they all have their pockets of toxicity. That's a lot to say there.
Yeah.
But I think that within this group that's here in the chat, a lot of the people that tune in week to week to hear our take on Power Rangers, to share their take on Power Rangers,
Right.
and to hear some of the news that we have to bring and some of that reaction, we keep it as positive as we can. And this is one thing that we've always tried to do, is keep it positive, because we don't want to kill anybody's love of a fandom.
No,
I think that's the thing that's I don't want to say a fine line to walk, but it's just so many people out there that I don't know, that I feel want to drag certain other things down because of whatever opinions they have on the fandom. Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not something that I'm about. Jezzer, on the other hand, he loves feeding the trolls. So, and he also likes tearing them apart as well. So I know that there's a give and take there a little bit, but let's talk about some of these things in Power. Well, before we even get to that though, I'm curious to see what our chat thought of Power Rangers Season 2 Part 2. Can we pull up that chat real quick? Because there's so much to unpack with that second season, right?
Mark, I'm going to restart Teams and come back.
First of all, it's an all Netflix season, right? It debuted, well, I mean, for the United States at least, debuted on Netflix, and it gave it a lot more free reign to tell this kind of serialized storytelling.
Yeah.
Which is something that Power Rangers would do in pockets, but it wouldn't do it for as consistent as half a season. And it's something that is, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it changes the elements of the story so much. And I think it did it in such a positive way. And I still marvel at the fact that this season finale for Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2 was able to execute so many things and do it in such a cinematic fashion for Power Rangers. What says you, chat? Daniel, if you want to read some of these.
Oh, what the hell? I can barely see.
He can barely see it. I'm going to read all your chats. A lot of you guys say, Moriba, he says he loved it. However, I do think some of the humor in the finale felt out of place. Thomas DeCoste with a super chat already. By the way, we have the super chat. Wow. We have the super chat feature, which is going to be used to help support the show. But we got a couple super chats in here. Thomas DeCoste asks, will there be any past Ranger cameos in Cosmic Fury beyond Billy? Great question.
That's a good question. I don't have the answer.
All right, so we're going to actually, you know what, Thomas? Let's table that because we will talk about that a little bit. We're going to speculate and draw some fair conclusions on what we think is coming for not just the 30th anniversary for Cosmic Fury, or sorry, the Cosmic Fury show, but also a 30th anniversary special, which seems like it's still in place. We have another super chat that is from our coworker, one of our writers on our website. He writes a lot of the Power Ranger content. Actually, right now, he wrote a bunch of Super Sentai pieces because for those of you that don't know, I believe the 47th season of Super Sentai was just revealed. It's on our website. Go check it out, theilluminerdi.com. Bryn Darby wrote that article. He also gave us a super chat. He said, pointed out to Bryce, but we have some Q-Tamas use.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We have some Q-Tamas.
I had no idea. Okay, that's
so,
not bad.
We're gonna dissect some of the news. We're going to analyze it and let you know what we think about it. We love hearing what you guys have to say about it too. It's going to be a lot of fun today on the show.
Man, I'm just excited. I'm really excited with the news concerning Cosmic Fury. But I mean, still, just talking about what we've experienced for this season. Like I said before, I'm going to be honest. I think it's, in my opinion, possibly from what I know, being a novice fan, it's possibly the best season I've seen in like a very long time.
Yeah,
I really liked it. The ending was great. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the ending was good. Like I said, the big boss fight was really good. They took some time with it, shooting it. Like you said, it was very cinematic, and it was something that's kind of like a departure from Power Rangers itself. So that's why I think I really loved it.
We got a new follower. Look at that. Is that a real live? Is that live when we get that little noise
That
and that
little
little thing that pops
dinosaur?
up on the screen, little dinosaur that pops up? It's a live follower. Thanks so much for the follow. There's a handful of these things in this season 2, part 2 that I really, really like. So I feel like some of the things we saw coming like a mile away, but what they did with, like, for example, the Void Knight and the Void
man.
Queen being Amelia's parents, I feel like people saw that coming.
Yeah,
But the
people
way
did.
that unfolded, it was like plot twist inside of plot twist inside of plot twist.
It was.
So
And-
I think that not only was the payoff satisfying, but even though you saw it coming, it made it still worth watching. And I feel that, like, another thing too about Dino Fury's cast very specifically, just as actors from season 1 to season 2, you see how much they grow just as actors. And I mean, we got to attribute a lot of that to the writing staff that Power Rangers Dino Fury has. I think that Simon Bennett is the showrunner, Alan Dale, Becca Barnes, they're doing a phenomenal job with that content.
Question, just asking. So did Pop Pop know that she was a ranger the entire time?
No, because I think he was just surprised when he found out at the end there.
But
Pop Pop did not know.
But did he know about Void Knight the whole time?
I don't think he ever saw Void Knight in the human form besides when he saw him in that like holding prison or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think that was all. And that's another thing I like too, is the usage of some of these supporting characters becoming key elements in the plot.
Dude,
I
the
think
whole
it's
thing about
phenomenal.
him like taking her and then like.
By
keeping
the
her
way,
safe, that was dope.
This is really me showing my age here, and I love Tessa and Hunter. I think they're great. They're wonderful women. But I have a big crush on Ollie's mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dr. O'Connor.
Yeah.
She's a good looking lady.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with a woman that is that independent, that strong, and that like forward-willed, like in that way. I love everything about her. Like you look at her and you're like, damn, I want to be better.
So before we really, I mean, obviously here, if you're watching this show, we're definitely getting into spoilers for the Power Rangers, Dino Fury season 2, part 2, not just finale, but the whole season. We're going to be talking, just to let you know, give you guys a brief rundown of the show. We're going to be talking about Power Rangers Dino Fury part 2. We're also going to be talking about Hasbro PulseCon, the news about Cosmic Fury, returning Rangers, and we are even going to talk Lightning Collection. We are going to cover it all. So join us for this ride. Again, we have the Super Chat feature, which is open to use. That helps support the show, and it gives us a big thank you from us to you. But let's continue on with talking about Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2. Where were we? We were just talking about Ollie's mom. She's gorgeous. But let's not overlook some of these other things here.
I mean, the thing is, with Void Knight, though, what we did have was, like Kevin said it off air, which is pretty much, it's Mr. Freeze. So we get Mr. Freeze, but there was even more, because, like, Mr. Freeze's wife, Void Knight, what's her name?
The Void Queen?
Yeah, the Void Queen, like, she comes out of the sleep and is just like, I'm here for a tear. Like, I want revenge. I want this, blah, blah. And then, like, it's like she's so
Mark,
driven
can you
by
hear us?
revenge.
So there's another chat we have in here, which I really appreciate, by the way. Brandon Bell, he says, Power Rangers Dino Fury got me back into Power Rangers after years.
Ooh.
And you guys are a big reason for that. Thank you so much. No, thank you, Brandon. Thank you for joining us on this ride in Ranger Nation together. The one thing I love about this community that we've cultivated very particularly, a lot of you guys came over from our old stable at Hashtag Show, but you guys are now here with us at the Illuminerdi. The one thing I really love about you guys is we're seeing you guys progress as fans too. You guys are becoming more like friends and family than you are fans. and a lot of you guys have joined our team straight out, like Mariba, like Bryn, like Larry. So there's a handful of you guys that we truly, truly appreciate. And everybody that watches the show, thank you for the support. But moving on to Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2. For the majority, it seems like you guys liked it. So what I like to do, what I used to do back in the old day, we used to give ratings, right? We used to give how many power coins are we giving an episode?
Yeah.
They didn't use power coins in this season, but that's all right. We're going to still use it as our barometer. Overall, I don't want to say overall, but for Season 2, Part 2, very curious to see what you guys in Ranger Nation think of it. How many power coins you given Season 2, Part 2? I'm going to read a couple more of your comments, but also, if you want to comment to be read out loud and to stay up there, hit that super chat feature.
Hey, Mark, can you hear? Hold on.
He's only coming through your headphones.
No, he should be coming through the...
Yeah, he's
How about now?
coming through the phone.
Hello?
Hello.
There you are.
There it is.
Oh,
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yes. Everybody? All right, cool.
And the world can hear you.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Fuck. I mean, freaking Mac. Freaking
Heirloom,
Mac.
Heirloom has joined us. So
fudge.
back to some of your guys' comments on this. We got Marcelino, sorry. Hold on, go back to the comments real quick. Marcelino says, I think the Void Queen Amelia twist should have been revealed earlier.
Ooh.
So more could be explored. Oh, well, we got a super chat right there. So more can be explored. I don't know what the end of that sentence said because it moved up so fast, but I agree. I disagree with that a little bit for one specific reason. I think more will be explored possibly in Power Rangers Cosmic Fury, but they got to leave those dangling plot threads to give us something to come back to. The Blur says he wasn't a fan of Dino Fury, but he started watching Season 1, and Joe, it was because you pitched it so well. So it was okay in my opinion. That's interesting. We got a little bit of divisiveness on Power Rangers Dino Fury.
A little bit.
But in my opinion, me personally, I think it was my personal opinion. I think it's the best season of Power Rangers. I know that
See, I said it.
as a whole, I think it's the best season of Power Rangers. I know there's a handful of fans out there. Nothing against it because I understand it, but I feel like there's a handful of fans out there that have this nostalgic kick and taste for MMPR, and that's completely fine. But storytelling wise, week to week, I don't think MMPR really holds a candle to a lot of the later seasons. Week to week.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I agree with you. But I just think they took a different perspective on storytelling. Like I said, the way it was shot, the way it was done. Simon Bennett, bravo. Freaking vo. Like, yo, this time that he had a way where it's like, okay, hey, we're going to give this the head whistle. Here goes Bennett showing, like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. I mean, here's what I'm doing. And I think they kind of rewarding him as well with Cosmic Fury by saying, here's what you have done. Now let's see what you can do.
Well, I think that, and we're going to dive into the weeds of all of that, the Jonathan Entwistle thing, because I personally think that, I think a bit of that is right, but I think there's a bit of that I think is a big question mark, and I think that going forward, look, guys, I'm not a doom and gloom guy when it comes to Power Rangers. You anybody that's watched me knows well enough that I love the Super Sentai. I love adapting other seasons. However, I do feel that with Power Rangers currently at its current state, it does really feel like this 30th season is more going to bookend the first season, that 30th anniversary, put a little bow on it. And I feel that whatever Jonathan Entwistle is doing, which we've released an article about earlier this week, whatever Jonathan Entwistle is doing feels like it's going to be, actually we released it last week, I believe, but it feels like it's going to be fresh, new, and a completely different take on Power Rangers.
Here now Heirloom's here. We got a little icon right there. There you go. Put you right there. Figuring it out. We're figuring it out.
Okay.
We have a lightning storm from Josh. If you want to.
We're not there yet.
Oh, we're not talking about
We're not there yet.
Not yet.
We're still on Dino Fury, my friend. We didn't really get your guys' thoughts on Dino Fury Season 2, Part 2.
My thought. You want to go, Heirloom? What were your thoughts on the last season? I know you were doing the reviews of them earlier this week.
I'm just laughing where my thing's going.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying
Well,
to
you
move
were
it.
sitting on Joe's lap. I mean, that's up to you.
Yeah. Well. Yay. I I've absolutely loved Dino Fury. I felt until I think the last 2 episodes, it felt like it was just going to be like, when's the big stuff coming? When's the big stuff coming? And then all of a sudden, they were like, nope, here you go. Last minute, boom. So I generally really thought it. I'm just there. I'm like an anime. Yeah,
You're actually wearing the same jacket too.
wholeheartedly enjoyed it.
Same hoodie, yeah.
I know. Yeah.
On
Oh,
par.
it's but you're not doing the same shirt.
Oh yeah. Oh no, you're not doing the hand on your chin thing. But I liked everything. So like there's that one episode where that I really enjoyed with Fern and what's Tessa's character? God, Izzy. Where like she was like, oh, I can't tell her anything, and then her dad got fucking flinged like so far. Like there is a lot of like civilians that like took some hits from some of these monsters. The monsters didn't give a
Serious.
fuck.
You know,
this time around.
ironically, wasn't that funny that like there was a big outcry on Twitter about these civilian fight scenes, and it happens to be like the actual civilians that are in the fight scenes.
It's true. Like poor bystanders. They're like, oh, and Izzy, I wish. Oh God.
Like legitimately, I thought Pop was dead.
Oh yes.
Actually,
yes.
so was it you?
He's so tough.
No, I think
Was he not like he was like in that bed for a while?
Yeah,
he
I
was.
think it
Yeah,
was JD. So I'm gonna pull the curtain back on this a little bit.
All right.
So Morphicon, there was a handful of people that watched the episode with me.
Son of a bitch.
I know, huh?
JD was one of them, and so JD way back when he told me, this is when I was getting back into Power Rangers. He told me that Summers Butler from RPM like comes back at some point. It's not a big deal if you're. I know you're like, what? Woo, woo.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of you fans thinking the same thing, but it doesn't sound like a big deal. But the thing is, I don't know why, but I was anticipating this goddamn Butler to come back in the show, and he never like reappeared. So, granted, RPM's a great season. I think it kind of falls off towards the end, but overall, I think it's a good season. But I told JD, I was like, "Yo, this never happens," and then he just started dying of laughter because this whole season he thought that I, that I was, anticipating this thing. But I did something very similar to Jezzer when
you son of a bitch.
when Ninja Steel started. Because a lot of you guys are fully aware that there was a cast change with the Yellow Ranger that was announced at Morphicon to the Yellow Ranger that we got on the show. And I told him that no, that original Yellow Ranger's in the show, but he gets like killed off.
Oh,
right? Didn't I tell you that? And like the whole episode, you're kind of like waiting for this moment that just never happens.
I was watching like maybe 6 or 7 episodes of Ninja Steel. I was like, he's not coming. And then like we went to, it was at Karaoke Blue. I was like, and I was drunk. I was like, hey, you motherfucker, the other guy never came back.
It's true. It's true. So in this
I'm
season,
so sorry that you had to watch that.
Oh
Yeah,
my God,
right?
it was
Exactly.
tough too.
and this season with Dino Fury, season 2, part 2, I told JD like, yo, and I wasn't lying, but I did say like, yo, somebody dies at the end, and it's not who you're expecting.
Well, okay.
Oh,
So
you son of a bitch.
as soon as Pop kind of like gets swatted and hits the tree,
He thinks
JD's
okay.
automatically like
Pop
are
Pop's
they doing this? Are they gonna kill Pop off? And obviously, it's not the case. It's
Well,
somebody else.
dude, I mean, the way they ended the season, great, really good. And I'm expecting, I'm looking forward to what's that. But man,
Oh wait, are we spoiling it for you right now?
I already saw it.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
Oh, you're speaking in past tense.
yeah, I'm just like, wow, and it's really cool how they chose to end the season. I'm gonna at least say,
I mean,
spoilers aside,
Spoilers are okay now, right? Like we're good.
Yeah, we're good now.
It's on
The
Netflix.
bar goes
Mark,
off,
you've
yeah.
seen all of them, so we're good, right, Mark?
Yeah.
So, I mean-
I've seen all of them.
man.
So
them all in German.
whoever doesn't like them right now, tune in after you watch them. I mean, why haven't you seen it yet?
Well, we did. I did ask you guys for some ratings. I mean, we got a few back. I Am Negro says 4.3 power coins.
Okay.
I should probably have prefaced out of 5. But Power Ranger Blocks Cosmic Fury says season 1 and 2 combined. He gives it 10 out of 10, which is what I'm going to call that a 5.
5.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like for the most part, you guys were pretty positive from your reception of Power Rangers Dino Fury season 2, part 2. I personally, like, again, I think it's a better told story. I think it's a deeper told story. I like that season 2, part 2 doesn't necessarily focus on just the Red Ranger
Oh, thank God. Yes.
I like that it really focuses on Amelia, and I think, like, again, I think all the actors really step up. It's so
My
hard.
favorite part is when the RAFCON people come in, then they do that little flip on like, oh, we're just gonna take over this world, and then Ion just like, this is not the vibe. This is not it. What is going on?
Dude, they're like Viltrumites. Like, they're immediately like, yeah, we're gonna take over this world. And it was like, no. That's guys, not here, not today.
Oh, you want Daniel Reyes?
Well, look, how about this? I feel that, like, for some of those hard-hitting Power Ranger questions you guys have, we'll totally be down to answer any of them. Super chat.
Yeah.
Super chat us for that. Let us know what burning questions you may have that we possibly can answer, or at least, point people in the right direction.
Yeah.
Look, overall, Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2, I think, was a success.
Yeah.
I think they executed a lot of things that they wanted to. And later on down in this show, we're going to break down some of the production things that lead into another conversation. So we'll figure all of that out. Let's see. What else we got? Well, Hasbro PulseCon, for all of you Ranger fans that were under a rock. There was a lot that was revealed there. First thing first, and I think we should get it out of the way. It is Hasbro. It is a toy company. Let's be very clear about that. That happens to make television shows and films. But they had some Lightning Collection reveals, and there's nobody better to lead that charge than Josh Perry himself, Ranger Lightning Key. So let's take it away, Josh.
Hello, Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans. This is Josh Perry from the Illuminerdi, and we have a lot to talk about. Hasbro PulseCon 2022 Lightning Collection stuff. Let's get right on into it. So yesterday was Hasbro PulseCon 2022, and with it we had a lot of Lightning Collection reveals to go over. So let's go ahead and start right with Wave 13. So they finally showed off Dino Charge Blue and Beast Morphers Yellow from Wave 13 as actual product shots, actual physical prototypes, after they were only seen as renders during Power Week at the end of August. These figures look absolutely fantastic. We have a pinless Dino Charge Blue. We have really, really good face scans for both Coda and Zoe, and they're going to make great additions to your Beast Morphers and Dino Charge teams for the Lightning Collection. Now, to finally complete Wave 13, they revealed the back half of it, which is going to be the Wild Force Putrid, which is the foot soldiers, kind of like the putty patrollers of Wild Force, and Dino Fury Green, which this one is going to be a highly anticipated figure because Izzy is a very big fan favorite character from Power Rangers Dino Fury and Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. So for fans of Wild Force, you finally get a villain to go alongside Wild Force Blue and Silver from the last two waves, and for Dino Fury Green, we got another member of the current team to the Lightning Collection. Now, Wave 13 is going to be the first wave to use the plastic-free packaging for a regular, basic, retail figure, nothing exclusive or anything like that. And so that means there's not going to be any more Tom Whalen artwork on the boxes going forward, which I know is definitely pretty disappointing for some because these Rangers are not going to match your other ones. But Wave 13 is up for pre-order right now for $24.99 at most major retailers for a March 1st, 2023 release. But that wasn't everything for Lightning Collection retail figures. They actually gave us a teaser of 3 of the upcoming 4 Wave 14 figures that I leaked here on the Illuminerdi and also on my Lightning Storm series about a month ago or so, or earlier this month. So Wave 14 is going to have the SPD Yellow Ranger, the Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger, and the Dino Thunder Black Ranger to complete, or very closely complete, most of those teams, which they said is kind of the whole goal with these, is to kind of fill out all those extra team members that they haven't gotten to from all the different teams that they started in Lightning Collection going back 3 years. So it's really, really great to finally get these guys getting a release. Now the 4th figure of the upcoming Wave 14 is going to be Dino Fury Blue, which we already saw from some leaked Power Morphicon artwork and everything, but we're still not exactly sure what's happening with that one. They have not revealed that one in the little teasers that they gave, so we'll see that probably when we actually see these guys unsilhouetted out, which will probably be at the next reveal event, whenever that may happen. And speaking of teasers, they also gave us the teaser that the Mighty Morphin Alien Rangers are going to be coming to the Lightning Collection in 2023. Not much details beyond that, other than just that's going to be our next team that they introduce, which is really, really cool for fans of that miniseries, and also if you want to get Red, to complete your Wild Force Forever Red displays, you're going to have one more member closer whenever we start getting Alien Rangers next year. Now, one of the big focuses was the Zord Ascension project Astro Megazord. So this one accidentally leaked last weekend, so we had a ton of pictures of it last weekend, which made the excitement for it maybe not as intense as Hasbro would have wanted it to be, but it still looks absolutely fantastic. It's going to come with tiny little in-space rangers. There's going to be molded rangers like sitting in the cockpits of both the Mega Shuttle head and also in the chest for the Mega Ship mode. It can transform between Mega Ship and Astro Megazord mode. It's going to be about 15 inches tall, or like 14.5 inches tall, so it's definitely going to tower over the Dino Megazord a little bit, but it does fit in with that 1/144 scale that Hasbro's kind of going for the whole Zord Ascension project. And this has a very, I think, reasonable price point at $165.99, so the same price point as the Dino Megazord, which is really, really cool that they were able to bring this first ever adult collector version of this Megazord in at a pretty reasonable-ish price. So this is up for pre-order right now on Hasbro Pulse and other fan channel retailers, and if you're in the mood of celebrating the Astro Megazord, you can also get a Zord Ascension Project t-shirt based off the Astro Megazord, also now on Hasbro Pulse in men's and women's sizes. And in the final Lightning Collection thing they had to share was the next 2 morphed Street Fighter figures. So just like how we had Ryu and Chun-Li at the end of August during Power Week, we have 2 brand new Street Fighter collaboration figures, but unlike those ones, which were actually based off of Legacy Wars and Battle for the Grid video game designs, these are actually Lightning Collection exclusive designs for the morphed Cammy Steaming Crane Ranger and the morphed Ken Soaring Falcon figure. So both of these are going to be coming to the Lightning Collection with brand new designs, which are heavily inspired by Mighty Morphin, or at least kind of start with the Mighty Morphin helmets and kind of go from there. So these are definitely very interesting. It's very cool to see Lightning Collection make something up completely on their own that has nothing to do with any pre-existing show, comic, video game, whatever it may be. So I know a lot of fans are kind of not so enthusiastic about these designs, but I definitely think it's just cool to see Hasbro attempt something like this and continue the Street Fighter collaboration beyond just 2 figures. But just like those 2 figures from the other ones, you're going to have a special effect pieces and a special attack pieces and all these other really cool things, so you really have a really dynamic battle on your displays for the Street Fighter characters as they are now Power Rangers. And with that, that's pretty much everything Power Rangers Lightning Collection related at Hasbro PulseCon, but it was a crazy event full of a ton of Power Rangers news, especially on the end of Cosmic Fury and Mighty Morphin. Lots of really cool things happening there, but this was everything that they had to reveal for toys for the Lightning Collection, and I'm pretty hyped about all this. You can pre-order all of this now, except for like the Wave 14 and Alien Ranger teases, but all of it's up for pre-order on Hasbro Pulse and other major retailers and such like that. And I think we have some pretty cool things in store for 2023. So of course, until next time, if you guys would like to check out the full episode of Lightning Storm where I go into all this stuff in more and more detail, you can do so on the Tokusatsu YouTube channel right now. You can also check out my articles over at the Illuminerdi and follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or LightningFigPR. And this has been a little quickie Lightning Storm.
Lightning Storm.
Living Ranger Key, man. That's
I said it.
Living Ranger.
I did correct it as the video started
Yeah,
to play.
yeah.
So there.
What do you guys think of those reveals?
Look, I think you know what? I think there's a lot of evidence of what. There's a reason why certain things are going to be coming out when they are, and I think a lot of that's going to play into the future of Power Rangers. I know it's something we talk about quite often here on the Ranger Wrap Up, but it also tends to be the truth. Mainly because if you're going to sell some freaking toys, you're going to want a show to back it up.
There was one thing. So. Mark had some comments during the video on the new packaging. Mark, what did you think? What do you think of the new, what is it, plasticless packaging?
Yeah.
It's really bad. Like 100% it is.
But it's good for the environment.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
It's good for the environment, but whoever thought of the packaging design inside was just like, might as well just put some paper mache in there and just like go to town because it's that bad. Like they're all wrapped up in like this paper, and then they haven't got much stuff to kind of put it in, and it feels like the accessories just are flung into a bag, like someone just grabbed it, thrown it against the wall, and caught anything.
Mark, you just got that 2-pack with the comic, the Red Ranger and Yellow Ranger. Was it plasticless?
Yeah. It was plasticless. That's the reason why I've seen inside of it. But they've done it with like the X-Men stuff as well.
Well, I mean, truth of the matter is, what doesn't matter? Because
some people, the thing that a lot of people are mad about is they don't have that one artist's designs on it no more.
Yeah, the Tom stuff. It feels from a if you're an inbox collector. Mm-hmm. And the fact is, you've got all these teams now have moved to a different sort of artwork, so it doesn't match with the rest. My kind of thought would be, yeah, cool, go plasticless, but then kind of keep the same design so that you can place it properly with the others. Because you'll have something like the rest of the Beast Morphers cast, then Zoe doesn't have it. You've got all of Dino Charge, and Coda hasn't got it, and it's very irritating. Same things you'll have with Tommy when he comes out as Dino Thunder and SPD Yellow. It just looks really kind of weird. I think they should have just kept the plastic until those lines are done, and then obviously with the 2-pack color, that's when you go into a new packaging. It makes perfect sense to do that way. But also maybe make the insert like the plastic, but in cardboard, so you can display your Rangers properly, because it's all in the bag. And unfortunately, because you've got no window display, you can't see what the toy's inside. So if I was
I
that
can
sort
just
of
be.
person, when
Oh, okay. I get it. Go ahead.
yeah, like I could put, say, like, oh, here's a really bad Power Ranger toy that's from the 90s, put it in the box, return it, and go, can I have my money back? And they'll just go, yeah, it's all sealed. Yeah, here's X amount of money back. So I feel like Hasbro really needs to kind of really do it, or people need to check inside. But yeah, there's loads of problems with it. But maybe it's they're still designing it or something like that.
Did you do an unboxing for that 2-pack that you did already? That you got?
I did, and I had problems with my figures. Yay! But that review will be like much later on. It's very, very bad, to the point where the quality control hasn't really done much. So when you hold my version of Jason up, you can like swing his legs like he's doing the Charleston. He's just really going to town on a dance. It's that loose, and it's like slumped to one side. I'm just like, did no one check this, or did Hasbro just get this out quickly? And then one of Jason's arms falls off, and it looks like he's been sweating. So
What?
So many problems.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So when you go for a run and then you come back and you're sweating and then you're like, oh crap, I need to go have a shower.
Yeah.
That's literally what my Jason looks like. It looks like he's just come back from a run and he's just got sweat all over his face. And it's like, why are you so red-faced, Jason? You've not been doing anything.
Leave me alone.
I mean, I am interested. Like, if they ever show up in Targets, I might buy that 2-pack because it's the.
I did get the 2-pack.
You did
Yeah. The reason I got it personally for me is because that way, either way, I can have the Super Sentai Jew Ranger. I can have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it's the male yellow.
Oh, that is smart. That is
Right.
smart.
So either way, you have both teams. I did get it though.
Yeah, yeah, that is smart. I wonder if like when they get to. If they get to Samurai for Lightning Collection,
I can only hope.
if that they'll make a Lauren,
I see her at press junkets all the time. Like
Who does she work for?
I think I want to say like an Australian or New Zealand outlet.
But she's based out of here.
Yeah. She's based out of
Wow.
here. I
should have-
run
we
into
should have her on the
I
show
run
one
into
time.
her all the
Say,
time.
hey, come down to the studio one
Yeah,
time.
She's
right?
super cool.
First female Red Ranger. No, is she the first female Red
I mean,
Ranger?
technically, yeah.
I mean, SPD
Yeah.
came before that, right? So the
Oh,
A Squad. Yeah.
A Squad.
First likable female
wow.
Red
Well,
Ranger.
I guess this Power Rangers isn't. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
A Squad.
A Squad, because we didn't really get much of her. So, what else? They also revealed the henchman from Wild Force, which was
Putrid, right?
like.
Yeah, putreds.
Those are gonna be for those army builders, man. Here's the thing that I.
But is that an army builder you want to build? Like,
well, that's the great question, right? Because personally, I mean, you got to think we got putties, we got Tango Warriors, we got Cogs, right?
Kevin has a bunch of Tengu Warriors actually.
I just gave him his Cog like when he came to pick me up.
Wait, did it have the
Tonfas?
Tonfas?
It did,
Ah,
it
son
did.
of a.
Well, I saw those in there's
I don't want the. I don't want the cogs. I don't want the cogs. I, just
I want
Tonfas.
a Cog. I don't
Really?
know.
Yeah.
This is the
Oh my
thing.
God.
Also, I keep hitting this desk. I'm sorry, guys, but really figuring out what's gonna go in your collectible shelf and like what's gonna be displayed is one thing. So you gotta like I like collecting the Lightning collection because at this point I'm not that far behind and I'm pretty deep into it. I have most of everything, right? WWE Ultimate Edition, like for me, because those figures are pretty high end and they're pretty expensive, and the truth is they retain their value. Wrestling figures, for some odd reason, do. So it's a really curated thing to figure out what you're going to put in there to make it look good. Now back to your kind of army builder thing. Like putreds wouldn't have been the thing I kind of would have went with. I feel that like there's a little bit more of iconic. Maybe even like Zed putties.
There's
know?
a
Or
whole
did
lot.
they already?
They did the
They
Zed
already
putties.
did the Zed putties.
Maybe what's the one from space? The Power Rangers.
Quantrons, is it?
Quantrons.
Quantrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quantrons would have
Those
been
look
solid.
cool.
Those look cool.
Because we already have Ecliptor and we have Astronema.
Stingwingers. You remember Stingwingers?
Oh, Stingwingers, those are cool.
Yeah.
Like the little buggy.
Like bug-looking dudes.
There's so many. There was even in space. So in space they had the Quantrons, but there's one time that they had the actual Super Sentai henchmen in there, the ones with the twirly faces. Yeah. I mean, having that would have been cool. There's so many. There's so many that they could have done, but
I will say this though, for the Rangers that they announced, I'm really excited for, and it looks. I mean, obviously those are the concept versions, but like the sculpts look pretty good. Like the head sculpts look pretty
the
solid.
Dino Fury green looks amazing, even though that Tessa's face looks a little like scrunched, like she's angry a little bit. But the actual Ranger.
And Jackie's figure from Beast Morphers looks
amazing.
phenomenal.
It looks amazing.
Again, that's one that it's a little bit of a head scratcher for me because why you're releasing it this late in the game? Because I felt like that would have had more impact back when Rory's figure first came out.
But I
Jazz's
wonder
figure.
if they were still going with the same mindset, that ethic of, well, the female figures don't sell.
This one now we have two. Now we have two in this wave.
Yeah, I mean that could have been a part of the equation. With that being said, though, you would assume it would have sold more then than it would now.
Now, yeah.
I mean, I feel like the people that are
it would sell more now.
Well, I disagree, and the only reason I disagree with that is because I feel that like people that would want to buy it now are specifically collectors trying to complete that set. It's not a ton of kids going in there being like, "Why?"
And
Beast Morphers?
and that's why I think it. Once again, the collectors are adults, and adults are into that whole swing of everything that becomes a new renaissance. And new renaissance is definitely girl power. It's stronger than before. It's far more organized. And
Do you guys want to do?
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah. But do you guys want to later on? Do you guys want to do a live like selfie thing and see what it looks like on screen?
Oh God, I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I would love.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think those look.
They look horrible.
I don't think the selfie figures look terrible.
They look
It's
wretched.
It's the software. The software isn't like some people have really good cameras, but for some reason it's not registering every point, and it's too quick. So like in NBA 2K, when you create a character, it's like a long process, like maybe 20 minutes process of creating it, and then once it's in game, there's some mess ups, but it's actually amazing. So I think that it's the software. The software is not looking for as many many pickup points on the scan for it to be a decent looking figure. It's just and this is just maybe because they're mass producing it.
Bryn did send a super chat in. Sorry, buddy. We do have a super chat from Bryn. He says, I was really hoping for HyperForce like a lot of fans. I know it's dumb, but I really love the show originals from Power Rangers. Legacy War got me. You know, I don't feel like there's enough HyperForce love, and it's interesting because Peter Sidarsa, who I love dearly, I love that dude, but I recognize him more for being the red HyperForce Ranger than I do for him being Marv.
Really?
Yeah, like, I don't know why. I do know why. It's because Ninja Steel wasn't a strong season for me. And
Yes,
I feel that
I
like
agree.
I know how talented Peter is, and I feel like that season wasn't showing all of his strengths. It was getting his foot in the door. Whereas I feel like I think that he felt more comfortable playing Marv. I'm sorry, Marv was the Red Ranger, and Preston was the Blue Ranger.
Yes,
there we
there
go.
you
I
go.
wasn't a fan of the Preston era, mainly because I wasn't a super fan of Ninja Steel. With that being said, I think I recognize him more for being Marv. There you go.
Okay. That makes sense. HyperForce seems like they did enjoy themselves a lot more, and it feels like they were like, here are restrictions, watch us break down barriers. And that's what they did instead, and I loved it. The delivery as far as the story and what was happening and how it was kind of in the air, all due to a dice roll, in a way. You know, it was great. I loved it. So, I mean, I think it does deserve a little bit more love. Besides just me being the person that loves it. So
All right, well, look, let me back up for a second right here. Jezzer, I know you're a collector of the Lightning Collection action figures. All the stuff that they announced, is there a must-get for you? Is anything that really stood out to you that you got to have it? I know, Dan, you're not a big collector of the Power Ranger toys.
So the wave, they're all, other than that henchman, we're all must-gets, I think.
so you want the Power Ranger?
Yeah,
I mean, you want the Street Fighter ones.
Oh no, not the Street Fighter one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ac-
Good.
yeah. So the henchman character and the Street Fighter ones, I'm not getting because I didn't get Ryu and Chun Li.
Okay.
I just wasn't a big fan of it. I did because like the crossover, not crossover, but the ones like the Capcom ones or the Ninja Turtle ones. I only got the Ninja Turtle ones because they looked. Like
Ninja
you
Turtle
you
ones
got
look
them.
great.
I got all the.
They
Ninja
they
Turtles.
looked amazing. I have the Funko shredder that Kevin brought me today. Like even the Funko looks amazing. It's crazy. I kind of want to make that Green Ranger helmet, but
Jin Saku's in the chat. What's going on, Jin? I was I don't know if Jezzy's gonna be able to send you a link. We're doing this on Teams today.
no,
my friend.
yeah, it's not working today. Not working today. it was just an issue.
how
It was
Teams is.
but though so the three main figures, Coda, because I have green, I have pink, I have red, I have black, and I have gold. So the blue's the main team. That fills out the main team, right?
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah, it
that's
does.
a must.
See, I wasn't a big fan of the Street Fighter ones. I think they needed a lot more design work because why would you, like all the others have like spandex going over their arms? Ken doesn't, and it looks like he's just got a goatee.
You know
and it's
why?
so weird.
It literally those Street Fighter figures look like a money grab to me.
Yes.
They like look like
Yeah.
leftover parts from GI Joe, a little bit of leftover Power Ranger parts, and let's see what we can, no pun intended, morph together. And that's exactly what you got.
Oh my god!
You get what you pay for. Hasbro's trying to steal one from you guys.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Whoa.
No, I'm not a fan of them. I think they look like hot garbage. But that's me. That's me personally.
Garbage.
Look, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own fandom. If you're a big fan of Street Fighter figures, there are some great Street Fighter figures out there, and I actually do like the designs they made for that video game. Was it Legacy Wars? Exactly. Battle of the Grids, whatever the name of the game was. I like the designs that they did with that. I thought those were cool. With that being said, if they were going to do that, continue giving me, like Heirloom said, more Rangers that fit the aesthetic of Ryu and Chun-Li, because Cammy and Ken missed the fucking mark.
Ken, see, the thing, they said they didn't want to go ahead and just do a duplication of Ryu with a different head on it, and they wanted to try to do something different.
Yeah, they definitely did something different. They put a bunch of toy pieces together, slapped it all on, and sent them all out. They look like garbage.
And they're not highlighting Cammy's like greatest assets. Like it doesn't look like.
Wow.
What do you
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
She's wearing a beret.
Wow, Chester's.
She's wearing a beret. How dare you?
What?
You can send your hate mail to Jezzer says
No.
stupid stuff. And
Because
we'll
I mean,
take
if you
it
look
in.
at Cammy, if you're a Street Fighter player and you play Cammy,
Dude, yeah, I
Cammy.
think that's why. And they were like, instead of like the birds on her camo, they put little thunderbolts, and that's supposed to connect something. I watched the whole thing, and I was just yeah, that's not Cammy, and I know why, but it was like, that's Cammy. Like, I don't.
Did
What
you
else
just-
can you say?
what's that, Mark?
Did you also just say that Hasbro didn't want to reuse the same figure just with a different head?
That's what
Would
they
someone
said.
sick at Hasbro and go, "Oh, just leave it, boys"? They've done my morphing so much. Why did they just say?
That's what they
"Oh,
said. They were like,
I would
"We
not.
don't wanna do
I
that."
swear to you, I would not be shocked if we get the Wild West Rangers as a 5-pack for like a San
We
Diego
will.
Comic-Con.
we will.
I almost promise you. And the White Stranger with Tommy and his like cowboy getup.
Oh my god!
I will guarantee you at some point we will get those figures.
And the big rats. You think we'll get the big rats?
Oh, the
Yeah.
big rats.
I mean, we got
And the-
putreds. I mean,
Yeah.
We'll get another Tommy.
Whose decision was that for like, I know, let's go for it. Putreds. Like, I get the whole army building, but why?
It's dartboard. They put all the minions on the dartboard and just threw a dart and went, that one makes
There you
more
go.
sense.
That's a good
That's
one.
the
Let's
guy.
go.
can
That's
you guys believe we're almost an hour in and haven't even gotten to Cosmic Fury or some of the other
Hey,
stuff?
we haven't. No, we're not even done with toys yet. We're
not
still,
even done with
no,
toys.
we're not done with toys
Look,
yet.
when we're gonna unpack stuff, we're really gonna unpack stuff here at the Ranger Wrap
I
Up.
mean, dear God.
So yeah, so there's the three main line, the Street Fighter line. Who else? What else did I get? Oh, I got a selfie series. It was a mistake.
Did you instantly regret it?
So they said, oh, it's $59.99. Cool, yeah. And then you have like a shipping fee. That's another $15 on it. Oh no, another
What?
like $9. on it.
$15 to ship a figure?
Yeah.
What?
Dude, like it's crazy. And then there's another fee. There's like a tax. So it came out to like $75.
$15
Wow.
for domestic.
So-
$15 for
Crap, bro.
domestic
For
shipping.
domestic shipping. That's international shipping
Yeah,
rates,
right?
That
actually.
sounds like a cash grab
That's
if I ever heard one.
ridiculous.
Jinsaku, I love this. He says if we get the evil Rangers, remember the Dark Rangers when they didn't even have helmets?
Oh, my
they
God.
literally had spandex on their heads.
We were supposed to.
We were gonna come
yeah,
to
we
it.
were gonna do
Before
that.
when Power Morphicon was going to happen in
Yeah.
2020,
We were gonna show
We were
up.
going to do that. We were going to
remember.
find someone that can make those suits. We're all going to
Find
show
someone.
up.
Any of us could have made those suits.
Literally.
Find someone. How
I mean,
dare
I would
you?
imagine like late at night, Jester sitting there with the pins and.
He would have tried to 3D make it like a 3D printed.
If I were to make it in 3D, it'd probably look better than those suits.
I have no doubt about it. If somebody in wardrobe department that day was like, "What do we have?" Well, we have this
Hey.
leftover spandex.
Hey, but let's be real. Let's be real. I mean, Hasbro kind of like dropped the ball a little bit with it when we finally got introduced to the Rafconians, and it was just a bunch of people in like motorcycle helmets and
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm
Sports
not
Direct went
necessarily going to blame Hasbro. I feel like that's a production budget, right? So, like, I feel like they put a lot of money into the original stuff, and then they were like, "Well, fuck, how much do we have left over?" And it definitely was a conversation.
it
Of
couldn't just be a bunch of
under
extras, though?
$100. Go to the sporting goods store, see what you can get for about $100. Oh, we can get these motorcycle like things on clearance. Let's get a bunch of them. Like that's what it felt like. The props department that day was like, all right, what do we got in the truck? Fuck it, let's go.
All right, well, let's put that together.
Larry Newbill sends a super chat in and says, Illuminerdi family for life. See you guys soon. Hopefully again soon. Yeah, we hope to see you soon too.
Yeah, man.
Morphicon 2023. Who's going to be there?
Larry was there. Was Larry there this
No,
year?
I'm not making any announcement. He was. Larry was.
He was.
You literally. I mean, I don't know, man. I'll say this. I talk like we haven't really even had a conversation since Morphicon. I mean, we have had conversations, but not like this in front of a camera with us. But you did miss it. He was at Morphicon, and it was a lot of fun.
Dude,
It was work.
It
I'm not gonna lie
It
to
looked
you.
like a lot of fun, and then I saw everybody like taking pictures together. It's like he was there. They were there. Damn it. The thing that got me is Kevin texted me like midway through. He's like, "Hey, someone came up to the booth. Like, I like the Illuminerdi show. I just don't like Jezza."
That's true.
Yes.
Wait.
That's
Oh
true.
my God!
If you saw that person,
that
if
guy
you-
came to us twice and said the same
If
thing.
you saw that person, could you recognize them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, have I seen them before?
Yeah.
Yes, you have.
They're in this chat actually.
What's their
right
name?
now. I don't.
Give me
remember.
their name.
I want names.
I want names.
Give me your name.
They're definitely in here.
Oh my God! Well, the names I want are the people that decided to do the selfie series for Hasbro because, like I said, they're not good. I have yet to see another black person actually post theirs.
You think it's- you
I
think
have
it's a-
not seen one at all. Only one I saw was the one that they promoted and said like, "Hey, look at this black guy who looks like a black."
You know
woman
the
on
only
toy."
only like company that scans black people's faces really good is NBA.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
man. Well,
They make literally
shocked.
if you're a white guy, they'll scan your head and then you show up you're black. It's like, wait, what happened here? Like they turn you into a light skinned black guy.
you're like, wait a minute, hold on.
It's like,
Russell Kerr. Oh man.
oh,
But yeah, I mean that's true. That's very true. Blake Griffin.
oh god.
But it's true. It's true. You pretty much are black on NBA 2K or whatever like that. But it's like I don't. Like you said though, it's because of the technology
it's
and everything like
the technology.
that. It's quick.
They wanted to make it user friendly, and when you're making something user friendly, you sacrifice a lot of things.
Yeah.
Imagine if they made it so that it captures everything, people would be complaining like, "This is too hard to do. This is too hard to do." But really, like,
Well, then it becomes the whole thing. Like I said, like. Fans are never happy.
Yeah,
Essentially,
yeah.
right now,
Fans
here I
fickle.
am. I'm a fan that's never happy because it's like, hey, you know what? We gave you something. Just be
Well,
happy.
I
And
think
I'm
that
kinda
that's-
like, but I don't like what you
It's
gave
completely
me.
normal though. I think there's a level of normality that comes with being in a fandom because you're allowed to not be happy about things. But it takes it once it gets taken to
people
another
that
level.
some people that are mad about Marvel stuff, they're not allowed to be. Like on TikTok, if you don't like Marvel stuff, you get freaking
Yeah.
crucified.
I don't know why because
Don't
Marvel
like
stuff.
She-Hulk. you're
Marvel
gone.
stuff hasn't been great since
you don't like
Endgame
She-Hulk.
ended. So like Endgame, I think personally I don't even want to get into this because like it's gonna be one of these things. I really don't care. I'll be honest with you guys.
I mean,
right
you
now.
had Thor like using freaking Stormbreaker as a broom and flying around. Like, this is what is
So,
going on?
I thought about
It was
this.
funny.
I thought about this a lot actually over the last few weeks, and the one conclusion I've come to is, and I think that more so you are going to be able to relate to this than anybody else. But I feel that like a lot of these things that we do, whether it be for Marvel or whether it be for Power Rangers, it almost starts becoming like you're doing it for work. And
oh yeah,
like Marvel more so for me. Power Rangers is right there though, but Marvel. Every
you
time,
don't got as bad as me though. I got some fucking garbage shit. Like,
What do you mean?
The stuff I have to watch for work.
Oh well.
You actually get to watch stuff that people like look forward to.
Well, what I mean by that is that like, but you got to think though. Prior to going into what you have to watch for work, is that something that you were passionate about as a kid?
What I have to watch?
Yeah, for work.
No,
That's my point. So like, when I was a kid, Marvel and Power Rangers and DC and all this other stuff, all this fandom stuff. This is stuff I grew up on. So you would think that like this should be fun forever. And sometimes it's not, and it's nothing against the people that are making it or anything else. But sometimes like Marvel's a really good example of giving me too much content that I really just don't care about.
See,
but the thing is I have to watch it for work now. But Power Rangers is a little bit different. And I'm starting to, and I've thought about like this show in particular. Like, I love everybody that's on this show. I love all you guys that are here watching us. And I, honest to God, like that's 90% of the reason why I'm doing this. But that being said, especially during Morphicon and all the people that I met, I'm sure you can sense the tone, whether it was Jinsaku or whether it was the Blur, whether it was Blackwing. When you guys saw me there, I may have not felt like I was having the most pleasant of a time. And the truth is I wasn't. But the experience that I had with you guys made it worth it. But what I mean by that...
But you weren't for a reason, though.
But that's my point. So the thing that even my approach to this show, like my mindset's starting to change on this, specifically for one thing. I remember when I first started doing this show way back at #show, I did this as a fan first. Then as I got more and more involved with... As I got more and more... I know, was I on Aquatar for a second? As I got more and more involved with working with the franchise and all these other things, I'm not going to lie to you, it felt like it sucked a little bit of the fandom out of me. And now, like, sitting here even doing the show with you guys now, I'm at a place where I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm not trying to appease them anymore. Like, what do I care? Like, I'm going to approach this from a fan-first type of thing. So that being said...
Oh, here we go.
That being said, I feel that there's a lot to get off my chest.
There is. But first, there is one more thing that they announced that I really, really loved is the Astro Mega ship. Looks cool. I know, Mark, you are not a big fan of the Zap program right now.
No.
But did the Astro Mega ship, like, kind of, get in, are you in their good graces now? Are they on your good side now?
Yeah.
I really like it. Like, I would wholeheartedly buy it because it looks absolutely fantastic.
And it's huge. It's so big.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
cool.
what she said. But yeah, I generally like it. Well, she did. So yeah, I like it. I think it was one that I do really, really want, but I'm so burnt from the first one that I don't want the Dragon Zord. I don't want the Zap Titanus because they'll probably make that. So the Astro Megaship is one that I do like because I like the look of it, but is it going to come damaged in box, scratches all over it? But I do know that I'm going to buy direct from Hasbro rather than someone else because if there's a problem, I can just ship it back straight away. It's more expensive. It's like 180 quid over here, which is
that's way more
insane.
That's
my
$260.
Yeah, right.
It's about
$360.
I think it worked out as. No, it's like $209, $210, something like that.
Fuck. I think that's the shipping.
No, that's literally the entire thing, no shipping.
Oh man.
So yeah, so I think it's all just a bit crap, but I do love it, and I do kind of really, really, really want it. But I'm gonna look at reviews first before anything else because I'm not gonna be burnt again. Fool me once, Hasbro, shame on you. Fool me twice, no.
Yeah, I was happy about it, and I was like, oh my god, it looks, because I've always wanted the original one, and every time I go to like one of the local con shows when they have like the toys. It's always missing pieces. Like sometimes it's missing the spaceship, the head. Sometimes it's missing like the missiles. It's always missing stuff.
We got a super chat, Jess. I'm gonna let you answer this one.
If Zap Astro work, think they'll do Delta.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they might do Delta. I mean, just to complete it. We were talking off screen. Like we said, like the next team that they're gonna do is the Alien Rangers and the Astro Mega Ship, and it kind of all comes into play with like Cosmic Fury a little bit.
Yeah. I think we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
This might be a good segue. So
Segue.
What does that do?
That does this.
That allows you to talk in the segue voice.
The segue voice, or you can talk like a robot. You can talk like robots right now. And we'll just turn it off. Go ahead.
So, just segueing here for a second. Let's talk about some Cosmic Fury news. I wish we had a graphic. Cosmic Fury, whatever it may be.
Fury.
There's a lot of dots you can connect to kind of get an overall. I know a lot of you guys are asking yourselves, what is Cosmic Fury? What's next? What's this? What's that? There's so many dots you can connect to know what it's going to be that are right in front of you. And you kind of put a few of them together. So, like, look, everybody out there watching us, let's put on your Detective Stone hat. And I got my Bulk and Skull ready to go. We're gonna crack the case. Circa Power Ranger Zia.
I love that hat.
So
Joe's like, where'd that hat come
I
from?
don't even know where that came from. It was almost like we had that planned. So there are a handful of things that you were able to pick up on for the releases, and you're not wrong. So I did get this from, and this is something I heard along the grapevine.
Sources, trust me, bro.
The packaging for a lot of the stuff that they're doing with MMPR, yellow is front and center. I wonder why. Back to some of these releases that you're talking about. Aquitar being a part of that, the Alien Rangers, the Astro Mega Ship, they're going to space. And a lot of you guys have put the connection together about Q Ranger, which we will talk about in a second. We know that they're going to be using the Q Ranger Megazord, which is going to continue on the toy relationship, which we will also talk about. But if you're putting all that together, Don Armage, who's the villain in that season, he looks like an upgraded version of Lord Zed. So you can clearly see, like, if they would want to go and use that that costume or use that, some of that Japanese footage, it's possible that would be a thing. So yeah, there's that. Again, we have the super chat feature. Thank you so much, Blur, for hitting us with that super chat. And also we got another one from Bryn Darby. He says, worldwide release, new Morpher with Globe in Art.
Globe in Art.
Globe in Art.
I'm gonna bring up a picture of
Don Armage. So if you guys can tell, I think he looks like an upgraded version of what they could do with something with Lord Zed. It's definitely on the table. And again, I'm not confirming all this is speculation. The other stuff that I'll say is fact. I'll let you know it's fact. But there's a handful of things that I think we can depict from some of those announcements. And if you guys want to ask in the chat, let me know. We will answer any and all questions you guys have.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want those to stand out, hit that super chat feature. But just talking about Cosmic Fury, let's go over some of the details that we got from this. Number 1, it will be 10 episodes. So a little bit of a shorter season than what we're used to, obviously, which was already reported, which we talked about. I think I don't know if we broke that story, but we definitely reported that story a while back. But we know it's going to be 10, 20-minute long episodes. Yes. Now, here is the interesting factor about this. I think, and this is my pure speculation, but I definitely think a couple things are going on here. Number 1, if you guys saw Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2, one glaring thing that season did, which a lot of seasons hadn't done in the past, was it was serialized storytelling. They weren't held back by the confines of telling these kind of episodic stories. And here's an important thing to note, too, about Cosmic Fury, is that this is going to be releasing worldwide at the same time.
That's right. So no international spoilers.
Right, which makes me realize something. They're shooting this specifically for Netflix.
Yes.
Which means they're making this specifically bingeable. 10 episodes is right there in that bingeable territory. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, from what I think is happening, they're telling one story.
That's right.
So if you watched Power Ranger Cosmic Fury, then you know that, again, if you haven't watched it, tune out right now. We're going to hit you with some spoilers, but this is also going to be tied into speculation. By the way, I'd love to hear your guys' speculation in the chat. Please let us know. But what I'm expecting to happen is at the end of the season, Zato comes back. He gets a power-up from the Morphin Masters. And they go into this portal. The Rangers all morph. They all go with him.
Right.
Key thing here is that now we know that this is going to be on Netflix. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get a continuous story that's going to be told in one arc. If not, then we do a 5-episode 1-part arc and the 5-episode 2-part arc, which will all release on the same day. That's what I'm predicting for this. What Cosmic Fury is doing.
I think Cosmic Fury is actually going to do the episode by episode release, not all together at once. I feel that it's going to probably be. I don't know if they're going to.
That's not a Netflix thing. That's not the way Netflix drops.
I understand, but it's something that they said they were looking and considering anyway. And since it is something that said they were considering on,
I think all episodes are going to drop at the same time.
I don't know, man. I mean, well, yeah, because
look, why would they do that? Why would they do that for Power Rangers, but not do that for Stranger Things?
Very true.
So,
but then again, Stranger Things, I'm going to get a lot of flack for it, but the truth of the matter is I felt that Stranger Things was losing its momentum, and I feel that this season, even though people are like, oh my God, it was so great, the only thing that's great about it is just that there are memorable moments that you can tell someone or you can meme about.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that they were actually good.
But we're also talking about Power Rangers, and truth be told, outside of people that are hardcore fans, nobody knows what the fuck a Cosmic Fury is.
Exactly, you're right. Then you're right. Maybe go ahead and put it all together and just ship it out.
What is a Cosmic Fury?
I would say, and here's based on there's a lot of things to like really unpack with this, right? Because there's a lot of I think there's a lot to unpack. So based on also things that David Yost has said, he said he's not returning from one episode. Well, what does that tell you? Then that means he must be returning for the whole thing. Is that somebody?
Yeah, I mean, he said it for so long that hey, I won't return from.
Is this somebody that we can find in Avatar?
But so when they did the video, when they did the reveal where David Yost came out and was like, I'm going to be working on a project here in New Zealand, we don't necessarily, I'm under the assumption that it's 2 different projects.
You would be under the right assumption. With that being said, I think there can be some bleeding. So here's what we do know.
Wouldn't there be?
Here's what we do know. We do know that currently right now there's cast members from the MMPR era that are out there currently. Okay. And here's the reason why I think you're completely correct about this, is because the Rangers that are currently on the show haven't left New Zealand yet. Actually, they leave literally today. They leave today. Today's the day that they leave.
Call Russell right now.
I'm gonna call Russell right now. But they leave today. So the other Rangers that are already there have either already shot, and you got to assume that was shot maybe like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
So that either they're shot there and they have like a week of vacation, and then they may shoot like a team up or like a cameo type of thing.
They have to do. I think they still have to do like 7 or 5 days of quarantine first or something.
I'm not talking about our current Rangers, but this would be a good way to give any Rangers that are there a slight vacation from sightseeing or whatever. So my guess is we cleared this 40-minute thing up too when we released the original story. But yeah, my guess is that we are going to get that 30th anniversary thing after all.
After or before Cosmic Fury?
Well, if the dates were correct, I'm not going to confirm anything because I don't know. But if I could have swore that I heard this, I could be completely wrong on this.
Okay.
But I could have swore that there was when is, do you know when JDF's or no? I want to say that it could be next August.
Do you know when JDF's thing comes out?
No, I think he announced it. I thought at Morphicon.
Okay.
But regardless, my guess would be it'd be right around August, right around Power Rangers.
The Blur says, could they be greenlighting Quantum Conundrum?
No,
I mean,
I don't think they will.
No,
what? I don't think so.
The buddy, no.
Hell no.
Well, here's another thing to dissect.
It'll be dope though.
Here's another thing to dissect from this is that let's talk about some of the stances some of these Rangers have had, and let's talk about some of the stuff that even Simon Bennett said. So let's, because I want to talk about the toy split, but I also want to talk about.
So we got 3.
We have a lot of
the
things.
The toy split, Cosmic Fury, and then the reunion.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start
all
off?
3 of those kind of blend together.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
So let's just kind of break down each thing at a time. And we'll start.
Because I think the reunions goes first.
Okay, let's talk about that first then. Okay. Right now, we're going to talk about all the Rangers coming back. We already know, not all the Rangers. I shouldn't have said that. But we know that Walter Jones and David Yost are coming back. So here's what I did know. And it's interesting because when we released that David Yost story, oh man, there were certain Rangers that they tried to debunk that so hard. But here was the thing. Straight up, in all honesty, I knew. I'll put it to you. I put this out there to all of you right now.
Straight up, now tell me. Straight up, now tell me.
I know that 3 of them for a fact at that point when we released the story, at the very least, signed deal memos. 3 Rangers. I'm not going to let you know which 3. 2 of them, it seems you already know. But 3 of them had signed at that point that they were going to do this. I know that the story was continually changing, and the story that they ended up settling on is essentially still the same story that you're going to get with that yin element being a part of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the Illuminerdi and type in Power Rangers 30th Anniversary Union or whatever it may be, and you'll get the details there.
I did read that recently.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh.
I didn't write it, so I don't know why I'm thanking you. But so that is a part of this. Now, 2 of those actors we can confirm because Hasbro pretty much said that they're in the show, and that's David Yost and Walter Jones reprising their roles as Billy and Zach from the original Mighty Morphin series.
I did say that we mentioned. So a lot of people are like harping on, oh well, Amy Jo and Austin aren't in it. Well, obviously Austin's not in it. You freaking morons.
Well, listen. So Amy Jo,
He's been back already.
Look, let's be. I mean, I this is the one thing that I don't understand with certain actors on certain projects. Now, for the Marvel projects, I completely understand because those are the biggest blockbusters that are known to mankind. They will make money like in their sleeps, literally.
Yeah.
Anything that The Rock is in, the DC stuff, I get that. But if you're trying to create a buzz about something that has been essentially dormant for 25 years,
30 years almost,
then you might want to let people know like what's going on. Because look, and I will some of you guys don't even realize this, but and some of you do, which is cool. But like honestly, I advocate for all of you guys that are making Ranger content more so than I advocate for a lot of these major outlets to break Power Ranger stories very specifically. My theory is because all of you guys are on the tip of you have your ears to the ground when it comes to Power Rangers. All of you content creators that are out there, you guys are the first ones out with videos. You guys are the lifeblood of this franchise.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like the lifeblood of this franchise gets the respect that it deserves because other outlets that are out there, no disrespect to them, but they get enough breaking news. And I understand the lure of wanting to break your news with a major outlet like a Screen Rant or a comicbook.com or an entertainment, whatever it may be. Right. I get that lure because they think, oh, well, that's where the mainstream is. Well, guess what? That news gets buried. Nobody's going to read your press release about a new season at 8 a.m. on a Sunday, let alone when you mess up and you drop it at 11 p.m. on a Saturday. So I feel like there's a handful of things that a lot of them just don't realize. And I certainly hope that those PR reps at Hasbro are watching this and listening to this because it's the truth. Like that is the straight up truth of this. Like I feel like a lot of you content creators that are out there, a lot of you digital influencers, especially in this community, you guys are the ones providing the news and you guys are the ones that are getting it to circulate. All these other outlets that are out there, they have it literally just buried into everything else. Because I'll tell you what, even if that news that was coming out that originally, David Yost and Walter Jones are going to be returning to the show, you know what? That wasn't even the biggest news that day on for other websites. You know what was bigger? The Blade director dropping out of the film.
No, or the Community movie.
The Community movie is another
blew
one.
up.
Yeah. So this is my point: is like that is going to be eaten up. Let these bigger outlets. Let some of these niche fan bases run these stories because the bigger outlets then have to pick them up from these smaller outlets and let them have a chance to shine because they deserve it. They've been putting in the legwork. They've been putting in the hard work. Let them, see the fruits of their labor. Now, I want to talk back, and I know when I went on a tangent on this whole thing, but I want to talk back specifically about this Mighty Morphin cast. Now, early on, I want to say this is somewhere back in March, maybe. Early on, we knew what the story was and who was set to come back, and we also knew that everybody in that Mighty Morphin group was asked. everybody. They may deny it. Some of them may deny it, but they were straight up asked.
Everybody was asked. All the OGs, all the OG 5 were asked.
Tweet. Oh, you mean with Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of them were asked. All of them were asked. Now, not all of them said yes immediately. And I know that 3 deal memos were signed by the point that everything started breaking away. So if you think about
2
this,
said no.
2 flat out said no. 2 flat out said no.
And the 3 said yes.
But I have a feeling that even that could have shifted. But 3 said yes, 2 of which you know about. But now we're going to release another story. Now there's speculation that we're going to throw out there right now. And I'm working on this. I'm working on to actually confirm this story for you. And the truth is, I essentially have it confirmed, and essentially you guys already know what it is.
Yeah, well.
But I'm just making sure I do all the legwork.
Yeah.
So, there's a handful of other Rangers, or a couple of other Rangers that would be making that appearance. But I'm just making sure we dot our I's and cross our T's on that. With that
we might have our Yen too.
Yeah. It looks like
My speculation is that it could be the Yen for on screen, but it could also be Yen's body double.
It could be.
Oh.
It could be. But
Okay, nice.
the whole point of this is that if you take that story, let's take the timeline now, right?
Yep.
If you take the timeline back in March when we kind of knew all this was going on, there was a lot of denials of who was going to be involved, who wasn't. Now it's come to light. We wrote a report. David Yost was going to be coming back. Guess what? David Yost is coming back. He was also one of the biggest adamants saying that he wasn't going to return just for one episode. But also, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, he also said that he wouldn't return to a show that's not SAG.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, Power Rangers isn't SAG.
I think
Still not.
They're.
I mean,
It's a modified.
You can
SAG.
get waivers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which are completely fine. But David Yost is returning. Those are the facts. Walter Jones is returning. Those are the facts. That's also what we reported. I mean, we at least reported David. We knew about Walter. We held that story specifically because right after that, all that stuff with Austin broke out.
Yes.
And we didn't want.
It was literally gonna be. It was gonna. Like you say, pull the curtain back. It was gonna be David. We're gonna break it down. David, Walter, ASJ.
Yeah. Well, we were going to break it down: David, ASJ, and then Walter.
David, ASJ,
because
and then
because
Walter.
we know that ASJ returned the most recent.
Yeah.
And then we were going to save Walter for the end.
Yeah. But then, like literally, like what? Not even a week.
It was literally 4 days later.
Yes, 4 days later, it all went down. It all kind of fell apart. But I guess Hasbro audible, right?
Yeah. So it's not like you put plans like that in place and then take it off the table. With that being said, I mean, I think that there was a lot of figuring out to do, which brings me up to my next point. Now, we did release a story 2 years ago about the Toy Hasbro split, a story that I'm going to stand by because it was news I gave Bryce. It was news that I knew about and I was able to confirm. Now, let's put the things into perspective. Let's if we were to draw out a timeline, let's look how things really look. That was 2 years ago. Now, again, what happened between now and then? Obviously, things changed. We went through a global pandemic, but let's talk about some of the things to back up the actual split. Now, Josh, who you can watch, I guess we don't have a sci-fi show anymore. I guess that'll be coming back soon. But Josh Goldman, who a lot of you guys know here, that used to do the Retro Ranger wrap-up, he brought up a really good point. And that point is something that none of us had really explored. Though we are fully confident that the split happened, it seems like a new deal was made within that 2-year time span. And that's pretty apparent. I know a lot of naysayers out there that don't like us. They're going to be like, oh, well, you're making all this stuff up. Well, there's proof in the pudding. So, as you guys all know, so you guys follow Simon Bennett, if I'm not mistaken, he said that Q Ranger would never happen because it's too expensive of a season to do. Granted, they are using the Zords, and they may use some of the monsters, but we know for a fact we're using the Zords. I don't consider that an adaptation. Now, we can get split hairs and say what we want about what is an adaptation, what's not. That's not my point of the story.
Right.
But what I will say is that if we're talking about cost-saving measures, then why go back to something like Q Ranger knowing that it has an extraordinary amount of Rangers on that team? And why not use the suits? Well, because at that point, I think the split actually did happen, and that's why we have American suits. If you think about it, it's just so much cheaper just to use the Super Sentai. So why not go in that direction and save money?
Yeah.
Obviously, look what you did with the finale of Dino Fury. So, granted, they say that and I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more than the brand or whatever else it may be, but there's also tweets dating back. You can go and check them out for yourself about Simon Bennett saying that, it was something along the lines of like, we don't know what the relationship is. This was like a year or two ago. But now we also know, and you can check this out on Ranger Command Power Hour. Shout out to my boy Eric Berry. He did an interview with Simon Bennett. A lot of you already know this. The Dino Fury was not supposed to be 2 seasons originally.
That's right.
It was supposed to be 22 episodes, and they extended it to 44, obviously latching on to making it a bigger season. And go back and watch my interview I did with Jordan and Kai. I asked them very specifically, did you guys shoot more than one episode? Or sorry, did you guys shoot more than one ending for the finale? And their answer was very hesitant, like we can't really comment on that. You know why? Because, and they said this back at the panel, if you go back to Morphicon, it all leads together.
Yeah.
Go back to Morphicon. They said that they didn't find out about them being cast in Dino Fury right around March, sorry. Right around March. Well, that tracks. Because my guess is that's probably when a new deal was greenlit to figure out what was going on.
Yep, because...
Did something just click in your brain?
Because imagine, do you guys realize how long we actually waited for the second half of season 2?
Yeah,
and the announcement.
dude.
And the announcement.
So I think a lot of that was penning to the way that they shot it. So on set, there was rumors that, and joking that they said, hey, there's a possibility we can do a third season. And then that's why
that's why you knew. That's why you asked the question.
That's why I asked the question is like, what if it came back for a third season? Because we were already privy to a lot of this information.
Yeah.
And I think at that time, genuinely, they honestly didn't know it was something along the lines of like, what, maybe there is. I honestly don't think that deal got made or everything was actually greenlit at that time because they shot 2 different endings for that.
Yep.
One which was going to wrap up Dino Fury and one which is going to go right into Cosmic Fury.
Yep.
So, and look, I know a lot of you guys are thinking, well, there's no evidence of this. There is. Just go back and watch the show and read the interviews. It's all there. Everything is all there right in front of your eyes. It's just a lot of people don't want to pay attention to it. Now, listen, I know that there's this there's this one dude out there. His name was Josh something. This dude kept DMing me about this all the time.
Oh, Erlen got excited.
Fucking all the time, bro. Like, it blew up my DMs to the point where I had to block him. And like, there's a lot of fans out there that hold on to this notion that Power Rangers has to be an adaptation of Super Sentai. I mean, if that's what you think Power Rangers needs to be, then that's what you think it needs to be. Me personally, I don't. Do I like Super Sentai adaptation? Absolutely. Am I considering this a Super Sentai adaptation of Q Ranger? Absolutely not. Because if that's the case, then we essentially adapted Die Ranger. Now, I know they eventually did adapt Die Ranger in the comic books, but let's be real. Essentially, what we're doing for the 30th season of Power Rangers is exactly what we did for the 3rd season of Mighty Morphin, which is we took, or even 2nd season of Mighty Morphin, is we took these Zords and used American suits of our Jew Ranger team, and again, no pun intended, but morph it together. Essentially, we're doing the same thing.
Same thing, and it's not an adaptation of Die Ranger. It's still MMPR.
Right. So look, and to say that the I think it's very interesting too of some of the wording that was used. Right. It's because I don't think there's anybody that's going to be able to tell us straight out like, oh, the split happened or it didn't happen. Because I'll be honest with you guys, and guys, you guys are smarter than that. You guys asked yourself, and how many? It's not like anybody a year or two ago came out and outrightly said, no, that's not happened. That's a lie. That's fake. That's not true. Because I have seen Simon Bennett respond to that for other things, but I hadn't seen it with that. Not that.
Well, I mean, let just put in perspective. What's going to happen after this season? A reboot.
Yeah.
An original reboot. A reboot. Literally.
And that's not even a secret anymore.
No, they said it in meetings. Like, how are they going to reboot while still doing adaptions? Whether or not the relationship is still strong, you could still be like, amicable with people that you leave, but you're just maybe doing like you said, a new deal or a new business. But it's a reboot, so like, if they do a whole reboot, and once we see that it's original suits like they're doing now, they're probably like, I think the reason why they did the Q Ranger Zords is they don't have the budget or anything.
I agree.
They don't have the budget to make Zords right now.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I feel like they barely had the budget. honestly, to make the suits.
Yeah.
Right. And that was that was something that I would say this. The suits were still being made as we were at Power Morphicon.
Yep.
So what does that tell you? If this was all planned so far in advance, then why not? Why wouldn't they have the news about exactly what they were doing for the 30th anniversary? Because if you remember correctly, and all you fans know this, we usually get our new season announcement usually in February.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, if you look at just the way things have been and the way things track, and I know that there's corporate spins on this, and look, I'm not a puppet for Hasbro, and I never have been. Matter of fact, a lot of you guys may not know this, but I fought extremely hard to get the Rangers, to get that Cosmic Fury panel at Morphicon, because I got news for you. They didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rangers did, but the company didn't. And to the point, it was like one of these back and forth things of not wanting to do this, and how concerned they were with leaks. And you look, I know that you're thinking, this is Hasbro, they're a giant corporation. Absolutely they are. A corporation that still makes mistakes.
Yep.
Because if it wasn't the case, then they would have known exactly when the embargo was going to drop for Cosmic Fury to begin with. It wouldn't have been a mess up. It wouldn't have been one PR team handling the production side of things and another PR team handling the toys, and then Boom Studios internally handling their PR stuff. It would be like, look, I'll be honest with you, pulling the curtain back even more, Jezzer and I, we deal with Disney a lot, right? This would never happen at Disney.
A little one happened last week.
A leak like that?
No, not a leak, but an embargo issue.
Oh, well, embargo issue, sure. But like leaks like that, like
no.
Disney's on top of it. So look, you can take it for what you will. You can absolutely take it for what you will. I'm trying to lay out the scenario and so you guys can see the picture the way that I see the picture. And if you guys have any questions about it, the super chat is available.
Yeah,
Bryn Darby has a question. Q Ranger had American toy creators help make it. Completely true.
That's very true.
Completely true.
So
But
with that
being
being
said, Q Ranger also was doing this when Saban, I believe, still had the brand.
But
So that was why.
I mean, let's say if we go back to the timeline, like you said, February is when we usually get the stuff, right? So if they had every intention of adapting another season and continuing this partnership, further, then they would have hit that. They would have hit that February mark, right?
Right.
They would have hit that mark. There was, I don't know how hard it is for people to to just see the moves that were happening. If we were still in this current deal, February or even March, we would have had an announcement already.
Well, also, are we also skipping over the fact that the CEO of Hasbro passed away? The one that acquired Power Rangers to begin with. So to say that things hadn't changed since then is a gross understatement. So, yeah, I mean, like I said before, the proof is in the pudding. It's right there for you. All you got to do is find the pieces.
You know what? Another cool thing to think about. So, on a Hasbro live stream, they had to address the quote-unquote rumors that we release. So, like, we're living rent-free in their heads.
You know, so, yeah. I mean, and you know what? Here's the truth, because at this point now, I'm not going to make it any easier for them. And I honestly feel that, like, a lot of you Ranger fans, regardless if you like the news or not, you deserve the news. I mean, like, it's our job to bring you the news. And I think that, like, that's something that, in all honesty, that we hadn't been doing. Was we've been playing a game.
Playing ball with everybody.
But truth is, now that I honestly just don't care, I feel that, like, and plus, in all honesty, I think Power Morphicon really changed my perspective on a lot of things. Simply because it's so sad if you really think about some of these things. And I can say honestly, Simon Bennett and the Rangers absolutely wanted to be there every step of the way. I will say, like,
they even wanted to be at the Viewing Globe.
They did.
They wanted to be at the Viewing Globe.
The Beast Morphers
The Beast
cast,
Morphers group wanted to be at the Viewing Globe. Even Simon Bennett.
Yeah, everybody on Beast Morphers was on board for the Viewing Globe, and Hasbro did not want that to happen.
No.
Hasbro doesn't want anything to happen that they don't control.
Yeah, because they wanted something to, match up with the entertainment value of that CGI Transformer that they did like 30 minutes on, that everybody was like, just move on. Like, come on, why you guys like fucking like just like dragging this out. Like this is awkward. This is an awkward presentation.
It really is.
Look, you guys got to think too. Is that it's tradition. I know that we talk about tradition in Power Rangers and Super Sentai a lot, but Power Morphicon specifically, it's not only the biggest Power Ranger convention, it's like the only Power Ranger convention. I mean, I know there's Ranger stuff, but Power Morphicon we've gotten these cast reveals and these cast changes. Personally, I have always looked at Power Morphicon as a high reward for all of you fans that fly from around the world to be there. And I think that it's almost like a first look exclusive really for you guys. And it's so sad to me that was my pitch to them. It's so sad to me that they didn't want to do that for you guys. And I know that we give them props for all the stuff that they do give us, and they handle the franchise well for the most part. But I do think there's this lack of caring about this hardcore fan base that does exist, that they could care less on building from.
I agree.
Building community.
Right.
There you go. I agree. And that's a problem that they really need to be able to figure out and solve. I mean, it's like the Blur saying right now with the super chat. He's like, my head is blowing up with all this like info. Just keep going. And it's sad that Power Ranger fans want to have a fandom like Marvel. They want to be able to, or Star Wars. They want to be able to speculate. They want to be able to go over the legacy, over the legend, and then kind of figure out what's happening and be able to tell their friends about it. You can't. You try to go talk to a friend about Power Rangers. Like, hey man, blah blah. They're like, who are you, weirdo? Like you can't do it. No one cares because it's not good anymore. And the thing is, you got to ask yourself also, when it was good, was it only good because you were a kid at that time? Because that can't be the case. Because
no, I mean,
like you see what they just did with this season. It was good.
Well, I mean, look, so I also have to give credit to Toku Chris, because he helped a ton with this whole Hasbro deal. But the simple glaring fact really came down to the thing of like, I understand the business side of that for them. Like, they have their own Hasbro PulseCon. They wanted everything to be revealed there. I personally don't think that the Cosmic Fury reveal on Power Ranger Day at Power Morphicon would have hurt anything. I don't. I really don't. If anything, I think it would have enhanced it more for you guys. But, that's the decision they wanted to make. Now, here's the thing. When I said earlier about how I want Power Ranger news to be in the mainstream, and I want Power Ranger news to get out there for the fans. Well, I took my foot off the gas with that. And now I definitely want you guys to have to know what's going on. That's why we actually did bring in scoopers like Jinsaku here, is because we were able to vet a lot of his information, have a great relationship with him. And
a lot of collaboration.
Involved there. And that's what we've been doing with the Power Ranger community in general. I mean, Heirloom is a great example of that. So is Ranger Liz and Eric Berry from Ranger Command Power.
Look at
Toku Chris.
Look at freaking Josh Perry.
Josh Perry.
A year ago or 2 years ago.
Honestly, at best, I think that what we're trying to do with this community is bring it together by having your guys' content appear on this show, and to make sure like-minded fans can share that passion, not just at Power Morphicon, but all year long.
Every day.
And look, I'll be honest with you, Simon Bennett, straight up, he's been totally down to do so many things with us, and we're held by the overlords of Hasbro.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But this is also, like, truth be told, this is honestly why I feel like what we do, we want to call this, we should change the name of this show to Fan First Friday or Fan First Saturday, whatever the fuck we want to call it.
So they can knock on our doors like, hey, you can't do that.
Yeah, we're going to do it anyway. But we did get a super chat from Red Ranger Christian. He says, this is the first time I'm seeing the Power Ranger lightning bolt on the Cosmic Fury suit.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. We can analyze the suits too in a little bit. But I wanted to let you guys know about some of that stuff, some of that rant, but and present a real timeline for you guys of how things kind of break down.
You know what I think is funny? There's like other people out there that like slight jabs, like, oh, Hasbro's adapting Q Ranger. They're adapting Q Ranger now. It's like, you literally watched the same stream that everybody else watched, and you had the gall to, type up and use and say that. It's like, get your news straight, man.
My thing
Captain
is like,
Mediocre. Get the fuck out of here.
Jeez, naming names.
Look,
my thing is just I hate that when people do that, where it's like, and they're coming Literally, they're coming to us and they're like, "Yeah, hey, they're doing Q
Or
Ranger."
they'll
And it's
retweet.
like,
They'll
well,
retweet.
then
Oh,
go
look
talk to
what's-
Sam. Go talk to Simon Bennett because Simon Bennett literally publicly said it's never going to happen, and now it is. Why don't you
Well,
talk to him that way?
It's
Of
not.
course you're not.
It's not
I mean, it's still
happening.
not
It's still
happening.
not
Well,
happening.
look, he's. I'll quote him, dude, what he said about adaptation. He said, "Yes, there will be an adaptation for the Cosmic Fury, and what we're doing with the new season is that we are adapting Zord and Megazord footage."
Yeah, that's not an adaptation.
No, I understand. Only with that, and it gives them a way to be more creative, and they don't have to match.
I mean,
the
look, let's read
footage.
between the lines of what that really says. And nothing against Simon Bennett, but let's really read between the lines. What that said is we can't afford American Zord footage. We have to outsource American Zord footage. And yes, that collaboration is going to continue because we can't afford to do it here.
Okay.
That's essentially what that says to my ears.
I agree with you.
I wouldn't say it's a creative decision because if it was a creative decision, you would assume that they would just use American Zords at that point.
Or-
Yeah, all the way through.
All the way
exactly.
through. Because why would you just
Budget,
take the suits?
budget.
But exactly.
No, but
There's
they're
restraints on
they're,
things.
they're spending more money doing this than adapting.
Wait, really?
I feel like they are.
How
no?
so? Because they're having to make their own suits?
No, because they have to import all the original suits, import all the original monsters, rewrite, have a writing team. A writing team that knows the original Sentai,
material,
and
and
then
then
a
after-
writing
Well,
team.
I think that process might be a little bit different now because I don't think that they're. I honestly don't think that. How's the best way to say this? I actually, back in the past, I think anybody that was at Morphicon and saw Justin Keyeson's how they adapt Power Rangers from Super Sentai panel.
Oh, yeah.
Got a bird's eye view on how that process is done. That'll be up on our channel
man.
very, very soon. But with that being said, I think this might be a little bit different of a situation. I actually think that Simon Bennett, for the most part, had a plan of what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he's taking bits and pieces of the Zord footage to seeing how it fits in to tell his overall story. And it's easier to do things in like a space set or, put on filters on a camera to make things look like space or even use sets because we also know that they moved sets this year.
Yeah, they did.
They're in different
They're
sets.
back
and
in the Ninja-
back in the bigger sets.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we know that that's going on. But I think that the story at this point is a lot different where the story dictates what footage they use rather than the footage they use dictating the story.
Yeah.
And look, I think that's pretty apparent with the way Simon Bennett did the Dino Fury season 2 finale, which was phenomenal. And I
Final battle.
and I also think too that like this season for Cosmic Fury is going to be out of this world, no pun intended. But I think it's going to be great. I really do think it's going to be great. We do have some more chats. Let's see. Robert Amaya says, "I thought Cosmic Fury suits are incredible in Cosmonominal. It reminds me of how Dan Mora made the upgrade version of the MMPR costume model sheets." Let's talk about the suits for a second because that's something that I think
can't bring it
deserves.
up.
You can't. It's okay. For all of you guys that have seen the suits, check those out. But I want to talk about the suits for a second. Aesthetically, I think they did a pretty good job of making all-American suits. Now, granted, the last American-made suits that we've had for Rangers, at least seen visually, I'm not going to count the Morphin Masters, but they're the Titanium Rangers, one that comes to mind. We also had the Jungle Fury Spirit Rangers,
Well, why don't you
White
come to
Dino
Morphin
Fury?
Master?
White Dino Fury ish.
Why don't you count the Morphin Masters?
I don't count the Morphin Masters because they're not Rangers; they're Morphin Masters. But I also think that aesthetic wasn't something they designed; it's something that came from the comic design, right?
Yeah,
but they didn't
but
design that from top to bottom. That was
Okay.
that was something they saw and was like, how do we make this suit
How
realistically?
do
for
we
Power Rangers?
translate it
How do
to
we translate this
live
for
action?
Power Rangers?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Whereas
what's the name
Cosmic
did
Fury.
say- what's the name? Did say he has to.
Well,
everything he does,
I will. Let's not forget Peter Sodarso's creation of the HyperForce suits. Even
yeah.
though like those, we never saw those on screen. He did create
Right.
those.
It's not comic, but it's comics. It's the
The Solar Rangers.
Solar Rangers, Omega Rangers, Team NT Rangers.
Yeah.
There's a few Rangers.
Hey, fun. Do you look? This is us throwing shit out here. Let me ask you something. Because I personally think we will see the Phantom Ranger, but another thing, I actually think that Zach may show up in his Omega Ranger suit
Ooh.
at some point.
I mean, they do that. The
Oh,
helmet
whoa.
is there. I
Yeah,
actually think Walter has a helmet. He has a helmet.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, because I feel like what Simon has done with season 2, part 2, he dives deep into comic lore.
He does.
I mean, I'm not saying we won't get the money shot of the MMPR Rangers with Yin wearing the yellow suit. And from what I've heard, that it's an updated MMPR suits. Who knows? But
So updated like the Dino.
at least
Fury
Yen's
suits.
might be an upgraded version of MMPR suit. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't care at this point. But if I'm not mistaken, one of the elements that I heard, and this could have changed because I know certain elements of the story have changed depending on who was going to come back. But if I'm not mistaken, she was going to have the ability, because they were going to infuse her with power, and she was going to have the ability to morph into the other colors too.
Well, I'm thinking every one of them is going to have a master morpher.
That's also what I'm
can't-
thinking.
I mean, the ways that you're able to morph into morphin stuff has been destroyed. Crystals have been destroyed.
So we should reach
these
out
things have
to
been
the
destroyed.
Morphin
All this
Master,
stuff.
the Morphin Master guy who made it. It was a separate company, right?
I
I
think
don't
so.
remember.
Yeah, but I'm
But
like the master morphers.
Who
are gonna
is
have to
Yen?
utilize.
Matthew
Yen.
Thompson. Go Google Power Rangers. Actually, go to our website and just type in Power Rangers Yen in the search bar. You'll know all about it.
He's too busy doing stunt work, man. He's
there
like
you go.
busy. He's freaking Daredevil, apparently. I think.
Oh no, he was in the last thing he was in was Cobra Kai.
There you go. Yeah.
Look up Charlie Kirsch on Instagram. That's Yen right there. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. There's a shot where she took a picture with Gandalf. So she's in New Zealand.
Oh,
Yeah,
not
she's in New
bad.
Zealand.
Not bad. Okay.
So I mean, I think it's definitely happening. And then like the Alien Rangers, maybe not as aliens, maybe just suited up.
I hope so.
I mean,
I
here-
don't want to see
here's
those
an-
bumpy heads.
Like I said, I think an element to this can be, look, if you're thinking about Billy, you'd assume that he'd still be on Aquitar.
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, and if you think he said he didn't want to come back just for one episode, well, maybe he comes back for all 10.
He'll sound like
And-
he'll sound
like
no, not that.
No.
Like no, not
See-
like that.
Like, yes, hello, we are from Aquitar. I am
That's
Billy.
more like a robot.
Yeah.
More like that, right?
Well, that's for breaking news.
I think that with him though, he can easily be the Rangers' mentor on whatever
He
ship
could.
they're on.
so. Then
and
what
did-
is? And then Zach is just showing up as the Omega Ranger, and there's no
Look,
Jason.
I also wouldn't be shocked if a lot of these Rangers appeared in the Cosmic Fury episode, like, because you got to think it's Q Ranger, right? And they have what, like 12 different Zords or whatever.
Right.
If they appeared as pilots for some of those other Zords, but like with their original suits.
That'd be cool.
I think that would be really cool. But when I was kind of having a think of Cosmic Fury in the 30th, I generally thought that maybe you see the Rangers in the 30th and they go like, oh, we've got to get back to Earth now. And then they meet Cosmic Fury and then they switch in and just drop them off home.
Yeah. I mean, they did say there was a throwaway line about, oh, we're opening up a new Buzz Blast in Angel Grove.
Well, yeah, that was a big thing.
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
like, yeah, Buzz Blast is going to be in Angel Grove. And I was like, what? And what's his name is getting like a juice shop and blah, blah, blah. And I'm
And then
like,
he's got his antennas out, so like they're accepting of aliens now.
Yes.
Ravkonians live there now, so like I think everything is just gonna. I think the two projects, 30th anniversary and Cosmic Fury, is gonna be a love letter to the series.
I agree.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
But I
gonna-
also think it's
Well,
going
it's-
to be like our closer to American version. It could be a closer to American version
Well,
of the Super Sentai of
Gokaiger.
Gokaiger.
I think it's them saying goodbye to how we used to do things because
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Whistle's coming in and things are going to be different. So this is just us once again.
Yeah, and we had that story that came out about that.
I mean,
was
look,
stuff.
and if you think about this, the timing of it, like especially with the comics kind of really running down about issue
Yep.
110.
Yep, but
And it's going to be like from what I'm hearing, like a whole like kind of rebooted type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It tracks. That's about 10 months away. Right?
someone says I
One-
think they need to get permission from Boom Studios and Ryan Parrott to use the Omega suits. That's
Negative. They actually don't.
No. It's actually the other way around.
other way around.
Ryan was just in an interview. Actually, he did the panel too. But he talked about how everything he wants to do on there, he had to check with them first.
Yeah.
And for them to say, okay, like when he wanted to do Morphin Masters, and it was like, oh, you're addressing something that we haven't really fully addressed. Let's see what your sketches are for them. Let's see what your ideas are. Let's see this.
It's
let's see
different.
that.
It's different
They-
than with what's his name in Draken? Kyle
Oh,
Higgins.
Kyle Higgins.
Kyle
Yeah, 'cause that
Higgins
was
and
created
Dragon,
under
yeah.
the Saban era. That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly. Yeah, Hasbro was like every moment, every movement. We need to know what's going on because maybe we'll use it later.
Yeah,
and that was always that's pretty smart of Hasbro.
It
I
is.
like that. So I mean, it's like, hey, it is one whole world, and you are getting this from every bit.
Yeah.
Where this is where Marvel lacks because they can't really do that. Even though they tried to catch up when they were mad at Fox and whatever, they did the whole we're canceling Fantastic Four for a bit.
So also, I also think that so something Robert Armaya says, when I first watched the season, I told JD this. I was like, yo, so the way the season ends, this is our first real exposure of aliens living together with humans on Earth, hence getting us to 2025 in Power Rangers SPD, where aliens are fully integrated with Earth.
Yeah, because Earth is turning into a sanctuary now.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I think that that's one smart little Easter egg a lot of people don't pick up on, but it literally plants the seeds for what SPD is to become.
Why is
Heirloom has
2025
With-
always a big...
Heirloom, go ahead.
I was going to say there's two things. They actually introduced SPD a little bit earlier in one of the episodes because when Ollie meets his tutor from whenever, in the background on the TV screen there's SPD and it's something completely different. So I don't know if that leads into it. But one thing I was going to say is I think that Dino Fury was a testing series because if you notice how it was a little bit before, it was like, oh, here's Sentai footage mixed in with Beast Morphers. So then when Dino Fury came along, it was like, right, so let's just reduce a lot more of the Sentai footage. And then now we've gone into a stage where it's like, there is hardly any Sentai footage, nothing with the fighting, but the Zords is the only thing. So then when we get to Nth Whistle, it's like, we've already shown you a way through with this season. We can instantly like not do it with Sentai footage. And I think that's the way that they're going to go because people will be used to it rather than it suddenly go like if they went to Jonathan Emerson and took everything out straight away, boom, people are like, oh my god, I need Super Sentai. Where's Super Sentai? So they've done it properly.
You know, and it's interesting because I did get some more Power Ranger scoops about the film, and it's funny because that wasn't even from like anybody in Power Rangers, usually from somebody that I talked to about the Marvel stuff. So I know their budgets is gonna definitely increase for the series after Cosmic Fury. But it is fascinating all the seeds that they're laying for this. And speaking of which, actually, it's funny that we're talking about this adaptation thing again. Is again, go back to the Screen Rant interview I did with Jordan and Kai, where when I asked them, is this going to be an adaptation of a Super Sentai holding tradition, or if this is going to be something completely new?
You
And
said original.
both of their answers were, well, this is going to be something completely new. Again, not an adaptation. Yes, they're adapting, or they're using the Zords, I guess adapting the Zords, but not the season or the motifs.
Yeah.
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 It's a lot to unpack, boys.
I know. I mean, what is it? Last season or even this season they adapted characters from other seasons. Oh, did Dino Fury adapt Tokuger? No, I don't think so. I think that adapting different elements from different things, you know, it has to be all or nothing. It can't
Well,
be.
I think that's actually where you start seeing. I mean, and it's so funny that this is such a big hang up because, like, it's not like we haven't seen this before. This is literally how the first 3 seasons were.
Yeah.
And now here we are in the back end 30 years later, and the last 3 seasons wrapping this whole story up. I think you're right, Daniel. I think that when you say this is going to be a big love letter, not just to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, but to the Power Ranger universe as we know it, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
It feels very much like this is the direction and this is what they set out to create.
Well,
Well,
this is the goodbye to how things were and a hello to things.
Well, also,
that are
even
gonna
I
be
asked
new.
Kai, do you view this more as like a trilogy?
And he said, yeah.
And he said, yeah.
It's an ending to a
makes
trilogy.
sense.
Dark
That
Knight.
makes
This is
sense.
Dark Knight Rises. I mean, even like, does it make sense to do 30th anniversary in Yen first or after? I think Cosmic Fury and then elements of them popping in, and then like that last 40-minute episode of the 30th anniversary is the love letter. Is the love letter.
I definitely agree. I think that's actually that literally as a plan, step by step, makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, because it feels like there's so much that they wanted to do back with Beast Morphers And now it's like, here we are with the freedom to do it, and we're doing it. And now that that's been done, we're using what I would consider the best director for Power Rangers to do it at the moment. Bennett. The man has an eye for it. He
has a passion
understands
for it.
He has a passion for it. He loves this. And he loves it to an extent where it's like, okay, he's dedicated. And he's gunning it, as a way to say it. You know, like, he's really into it. He'll respond to people on Twitter. He'll do all these things. He's really being a good showrunner.
Yeah.
And it's great to put it in his hands, because when we move on to Entwistle, it's completely different. So saying goodbye from him is great.
You know, another piece of that too, that we were kind of talking about. I think, I honestly don't remember what I was gonna say.
Well, I mean, I'll continue. It's will we see Chip in a different role for the?
Chip Lynn?
Yeah, will he show up at all?
He's gone. No.
Yeah,
I don't-
I'm just, I just wonder, because that man had the love for it too. So,
But I
don't
think
know.
with Chip's love, I generally think it kind of held it back a little bit. But if you notice how all of a sudden with Simon, he's really gone hard to really make this work, to the point where if you looked at when did Chip leave? Was it quite recently, or was it like just before Beast Morphers?
I think Beast Morphers was like his last,
Yeah.
like
The second
official
season of Beast
second
Morphers.
season.
Yeah. Well, Beast Morphers was fine, and it kind of added more to it. But when Simon's properly taken over, it's actually improved the series too much, so much, where I'm excited. You know, everyone was really wanting part 2 of Dino Fury, and to the point where, you know, it's like everyone was asking everyone, and then suddenly it just drops, and it's done really, really well. Everybody wants it. So I think that with Chip, he did okay, but Simon really saw the future and went, right, let's actually just shift this up really high and make a better season. So I don't particularly want Chip to come back, even though he's done some good seasons.
Right.
I would like Simon to take the lead
I
and just
agree.
go, I will carry on for years upon years until I get bored. And I want to see Simon just go massively hard on the
Well,
series.
you know what?
Take that Hasbro.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, take that Hasbro money and spend it like hell.
I agree. I actually want to see Chip in charge of. Not Chip. I want to see Simon in charge of if there is going to be an animated project.
So
Because this way, it's like, I'm not worried about budget. I'm just worried about if they can actually go ahead and do this and do the ADR and everything in time to put this out. And I think they can. Let's go huge.
So I was just thinking about season 2 of Dino Fury. I know this is going to be off track for a little bit, but it did come to me, and this is the thought that I had earlier, is that you can kind of tell, and if you're reading between the lines, I feel like they gave themselves a lot of outs when they were shooting Dino Fury season 2. So if you look at one of the first outs they give them is, I believe it's right in that Morphin Masters episode, where they mention Rangers having crystals, and then somebody says something along the lines of like, there's Power Rangers powered by crystals or something along those lines.
Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like that line was kind of left open in case that they wanted to adapt another Super Sentai season and they worked out a deal, which would have probably been Kira Major. However, I also think that it was definitely shot in a way that left it open-ended. One was the cosmic, knowing they were going to come back for Cosmic Fury, and the other one was probably going to be where they ended the story at Dino Fury. So I feel like they gave themselves enough outs when they were shooting in order to figure out what the deal was going to be. So
Simon's
they
a
knew
genius
exactly.
with that, then.
It could have been. I mean, this is very much like a This Is Us type of thing, right? But like where they knew how far in advance they were going to shoot it. But shooting the multiple endings, figuring out which one that they were going to land on, because you have to think, if that didn't get approved until March, the Rangers got back well prior to that.
Oh,
So they
jeez,
wouldn't have shot
yeah.
that ending. That wouldn't have been the
Yeah,
only
that's
ending they
true.
shot.
That's true. That's a good point concerning multiple. And that would make sense why they had to do the multiple endings. Speaking about multiples,
Right,
There
so-
are multiple shirts that we have, and someone's asking about how can they get
Well,
shirts.
I would love to have that information for you. Next week we'll have information on how you can get some of these shirts. Maybe not this one.
Maybe not
this
this one. Not that one either.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
these.
But
Not
we
these.
do have some specific Power Ranger shirts you can get.
But you guys because these are kind of like the DX shirts, and you get them. You earn them when you
earn them when you join.
Yes,
like
exactly.
how many people did you initiate over Power Morphicon?
I know
man,
Toku
we
Chris.
should've- we
Toku
should've
Chris
done it
has
that
one.
way.
Josh has
Larry
one.
has one. Blackwing has one. Josh Perry, I believe, has one.
Yes.
For sure, Jinsaku has one. So there's a handful that we.
Mark, if you were
initiated.
there, you'd have had
Mark
one
would
too.
have had one if
Yes.
he was there. Liz would have had
Oh,
one. If
I
she
wish I was there, boys.
Well, we'll send you one.
Yeah.
We'll get you
We'll
one.
get
We'll
you
get one
one.
to you. But also,
Also, Liz too, definitely.
Liz,
Liz,
by-
you're watching. You're definitely getting one.
also Deoxy Fan Club. There are guys.
Fans love my fuck.
But I also
Sorry,
want to
love
say
it.
this to all of you guys that are watching us, though, because like, look, we literally do this for you guys. I mean, we love talking Power Rangers like internally, but to talk about it with like-minded fans is a whole nother thing. So
I'm so mad I missed Power Morphicon.
you should have
man.
been there. But what I will say is this:
Same here.
I know that a ton of you guys. There's a ton of you guys that have your own opinions on Power Rangers, Super Sentai, Tokusatsu in general. If you're looking to express that interest, I would recommend joining us at the Illuminerdi. Shoot over an email to media@theilluminerdi.com. We're always looking for new writers. We're also looking for community managers like Larry Newbill, who's going to be working with Daniel over on social media. But the truth is, I'm being honest when I say it, is that I think that all of you guys that are watching that have a voice, have an opinion, they're all valid. And put pen to paper, put your fingers to a keyboard, and let's make it reality. And let's get your thoughts out there. We can do Power Ranger features, and get you guys some love for your opinions on Power Rangers.
Yeah, buddy.
Also, I want to say this too, and nothing is going to stop us from doing this. So we are 100% going to be doing a viewing globe too.
Viewing globe.
I have a plan on how we're doing it. Heirloom, I will let you know, but we are really going to celebrate not just the fandom, but the last 30 years of this show. So we really wanted it to be a community-driven thing like we did the first time around, and maybe with a little bit more planning. I mean, it did take us like 2 months to put that show together, but I thought it was fantastic. And I thought that at least in the Power Ranger atmosphere, nobody, including Hasbro's themselves, could touch it. So get ready. Viewing Globe 2. We want some fan input. We're going to have a lot of fun things there for everybody. Even maybe some celebrities that you wouldn't even know are Power Ranger fans coming on and sharing their love of Power Rangers.
Oh,
Yeah, like
like-
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Like Johnny Gargano.
Johnny
The
Gargano.
Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I'll ask him on Friday. I'm going to ask him, you a Power Ranger fan? He's like, shut up.
Imagine.
If he's like, I'm a huge fan. Jason's my favorite.
No,
You imagine?
no, he's gonna be like, hello, Thunderbolt. Like he's gonna be like, what's on Black Adam's chest? No,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't be. I can't be.
I'm going to change the what is it?
He
The
got changed the
hierarchy of
it.
Power Rangers, like never before.
Poor Zordon. He's like, what's going on? Oh, stop it.
Oh, he'll be Zordon. What's up, Rangers? Ha! Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Got more for
I
Rangers.
do think though that I'm excited to see what Cosmic Fury is. I'm excited to see this 30th anniversary special, which I heard is one episode for 40 minutes. And I'm
Oh,
excited to see
nice.
where the Lightning Collection stuff goes. I mean, some of that stuff I'm with you, Jezzer. Like, I'm not going to get a Putrid. I'm not going to get those Street Fighter ones, but-
What did we get? What did we get a Wild Force one already?
The info for us to join us, email us, media@theilluminerdi.com. Media@theilluminerdi.com.
Yeah.
Oh, also, something else we're going to build into the show. If you guys want discounts on your Power Ranger Lightning Collection action figures, you can get them from Entertainment Earth. And our discount, I think it's IL20.
Yeah.
Is 20% off.
That's still active.
Huh? Yeah, it's still active. You know what? Next week we'll have it more done where we'll have like little calls to action for that stuff.
Yeah.
But we can get you guys discount on your Lightning
L20.
Collection figures. Just use our discount code.
Just use the discount code IL20 and you'll get 20% off your Lightning Collection figure.
No, but for real, like,
Yeah.
I'm
great
excited to see these Rangers return, but I'm more excited to see what Simon Bennett does with Cosmic Fury. And again, I love hearing what you guys have to think. By the way, New York Comic Con is coming up very soon, so
Yes, it
any of you
is.
guys that are going to be there, let
You
us
there?
know. I don't know yet. I don't know
You
yet.
think you'd know right now, no?
Well, isn't it right now? Like literally right now?
It's not this weekend. I don't
Or is it
think.
next week?
It's next weekend.
Yeah.
Blackwing, you'll be there, right?
Who
Black
knows?
will be there.
With the way that my schedule's been shifting and changing, I would say that it's a strong possibility.
Something happened, and Joe's super busy now.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo. I was just telling
you busy,
telling
busy,
somebody.
busy man.
but
man.
we shall see. But I think this is a good stopping place. We did a show for 2 hours talking about Power Rangers, and we plan on doing this every single week. There we are, another super chat. Thomas DeCoste. If you join the Illuminerdi, can you participate in the second viewing globe?
You can participate even like
Yeah, you can participate
Dude,
even
yeah.
if you're
it's
not.
not.
a member
It's
of the
because it's not
Illuminerdi.
just an Illuminati thing. Like it's
It's celebrating all the fandom too. That's
Yeah.
the one thing. Even
It's Ranger Nation's
Ranger Nation.
viewing globe.
Yeah, listen.
It's not Illuminerdi's viewing globe.
I know. I always see Thomas DeCoste in the Jinsaku little Twitter spaces.
Oh yeah.
He's very vocal about some of the things
Who?
he wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Thomas
Oh.
Thomas DeCoste.
yeah, Jin Saku. Him and I have been meaning to do a Twitter space for you guys, and we shall do one. I think very soon. Matter of fact, I think we should do some with some of the Rangers. To be honest with you,
I really think we should.
but yeah, I think that's going to do it for us, guys. Look, there was a lot to unpack on this episode. There was a lot to talk about, and we want to be talking about it more and more and more. By the way, if you haven't already, check out We're Always Watching, the Illuminerdi movie podcast that
Yep.
Jezzer, Kevin, and Daniel sometimes frequents. It is a phenomenal podcast.
Really great podcast.
If you're a movie fan, a cinephile at all, check out the podcast.
I think we should talk about Blonde.
You know what?
You know, that's interesting.
Interesting you said that because that was on my to watch list.
Yeah.
Did you like Blue Bayou? I gave Jezzer a little recommend. Watch Blue Bayou.
Blue Bayou, man.
It's a lot, man.
It's a heavy movie.
Yeah.
I know. You know what? How about this?
Don't go.
Every episode, I think we should give them a film to watch.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be like.
Doesn't have to be Power Range related at all.
Yeah,
Oh,
Whiplash.
yeah.
We gotta watch Whiplash.
All right,
together.
so
yeah, we talked about
but
that.
let's give a backstory on why they should be watching it. So I think Whiplash is a good place to start. Why should they watch Whiplash? Why should our Ranger Nation watch Whiplash?
Because they should
Grow
watch.
up.
They should watch Whiplash only because, like, in order to get to greatness, you must, deal with the hardships of getting to greatness. Like people like Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, freaking even Tom Brady. And a lot of people don't like Tom Brady, but in order to get there, they went through like a ton of struggles just to get there and maintain that. Like that's for me. That's my interpretation of Whiplash. Is like, how bad do you really want it? Like, and the obstacles that you'll go through to get it.
My thing is, congratulations, you have talent. You know
Yeah.
who else has talent?
Yes.
A dog walking down the street.
Yeah.
Now, what separates you from the dog? The thing is that you know how to utilize your talent. You know how to be able to showcase your talent, and you know how to get better, and you are willing to get better.
That's a good
what
one.
happens.
That's a good
and
one.
that's why you should watch it.
Yeah. I also want to do.
There's also that great scene where that he's at the dinner table with his cousins, and he's like, "Oh, they're talking about how he plays football, or one of the cousins plays football," and he's like, "But that's Division 3, not even Division 2.
Yeah.
It's Division 3."
He's like, you're not on my level, bruh.
and like I think he says something along the lines of like, "We don't want you here," or I think he says something along the lines like telling the kid that's playing drums. He says something along like, "Well, why don't you come play with us, see what it's all about?" And he's like, "That's 4 words you'll never hear from the NFL." But honestly, I think the lesson of that movie is that sometimes it takes a challenging person to bring greatness out of you.
Yes.
And I think that happens far too frequently. How many stories have you been inspired by where people have just said, "You know what? It's pretty fucking easy."
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have any obstacles. Pretty
We
easy.
did.
Pretty easy.
So we did a few, like we haven't done a We Are Watching podcast, but the last one we did was Rise of TMNT on Netflix. Great movie. Great freaking movie. It's a great podcast. You guys really enjoy it. We did Easter Sunday. With Easter Sunday, we had from Cinema Blend, we had Law.
I
Sharma,
love Law.
and we
Yeah.
had Justin Keys on it. That's a really good
Yeah.
one. We talked a lot about Filipino culture and like how amazing it was to be at this point in Hollywood. Have Joe Coy be in Hollywood and have a film there. Bullet Train was another good one that we did.
Yoshi Sadarso.
Yep. Another one was you guys did Lightyear.
I didn't do Lightyear.
We did Jurassic. There's so many.
I think the last one I think I was on was Firestarter.
Yeah. Oh, oh God.
jeez.
Don't, that was a funny one to watch. Not a great movie. Funny one to listen
But
to.
Larry Nuba also sent in a last minute super chat. Thank you so much, Larry. Said nice Illuminerdi home studio.
Oh,
well,
it's just the
this
beginning.
is just the beginning.
Literally right after
Literally,
we end
yeah.
this.
We're gonna break this. We're gonna break all this stuff down, and we're gonna get to work on building it better, stronger, and faster.
Yeah,
And,
stronger than before.
Just gonna let you know my strand of the week, 805 glue. If you are
Oh yeah, dude, stop.
the Sativa Ranger says 805 glue. If you are into cannabis culture, watch or smoke some 805 glue and sit back and watch a fantastic episode of Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2, streaming now on Netflix.
Yes.
Oh, it's something you got.
So it's a Saturday and chill. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. I am Joe with the Illuminerdi. I am going to be here most weeks. I'm going to try to make it literally every week. This is the one thing that I am going
Next
to
week,
make.
next week we're gonna have some really cool panels going.
Yeah, we got some panels going from Morphicon, so we won't be here live, but you can enjoy some of those panels from Morphicon. Week after that, we should be back.
We are back.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
And yeah, this has been fun. Actually, reuniting with you and doing one of these is a lot of fun. I feel
Daniel, man, the spiel is not as fun as it is doing it with you, man.
Hey, holla at your boy, man.
Yeah.
You know that's why I'm here.
Guys, we need something that the stream isn't complete. We've not had it for ages. We need some AKs. I need the AKs.
AKs. All right, hold on.
Oh,
Wait,
damn.
we're gonna do it. Here you go. Here, go ahead.
Holla at your boy. That's right. It's me, Daniel Jerome, a.k.a. BSG, Battlestar Galactica, a.k.a. Kurt Hustle, because I never stop. That's it. We'll do it. Right?
Little. Hey, Mark, where can we find you on social media, buddy? Oh, wait, when can we get that 2-pack video, man? Fast track that one, because I want to see.
That is coming up after. I'm going to edit it right after the stream.
Yes.
But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. You're going to see Wobbly Jason. Wobbly Jason.
Wobbly Jason.
Jezza, where can everyone
Wobbly
find you?
Jason.
Oh, he didn't say where is.
Oh, my bad. We're Heirloom, you didn't even plug yourself.
I was talking about Wobbly Jason. Heirloom everywhere. Bar Twitter at Mainstream Live.
Yeah.
Wobbly Jason.
You can find me everywhere at Jezzer Zeus. We're going to try to come out with some TikTok content this week, so check that out too.
Jezzer's actually going to help me produce new TikTok content.
Yes.
That is going to be Power Ranger
We're going to find you
related.
some fun sounds, man.
Woo. I'm excited for it, but you can find me at Joe Illuminerdi right here at the Illuminerdi most weeks. Hopefully every single week. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Illuminerdi.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Again, go check out We're Always Watching, the movie podcast, the official movie podcast from the Illuminerdi. Also, you can check us out. Daniel's handling our Instagram. So if there's things you like or don't like, let him know. He's the one that runs it. Larry Newbell's going to be helping him with that. But guys, thank you so much for joining us, and may the power protect you. And also, you content creators out there, keep creating fantastic content.
Yes.
We may not always see eye to eye with some of these other outlets, but that's okay. Just keep creating that content, because you guys are the ones keeping this fandom going. Thank you guys so much. That's going to do it for us. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending in geek pop culture.
Hold on. Oh shit, this is amazing. Get in this chair, Hey, whoa. Hold on, let me take the naked banner off. Hold on.